What's up, everybody? This is LeaSt with your boy Ashen.
Hey,
We're coming at you with some more hot CPL action.
yeah, yeah.
What groups do we have, Ashen? Remind me.
We have groups 11 and 35. Let me pull that up on the matchups right now. Here we go. So I know nobody in group 11. I just picked it partially for the matchups and partially to get a little bit of exposure on some lower level players in the league. And I do know some of the people in group 35, though, and we'll probably get to that whenever we start casting them. One quick note on the matchups. Caffeine Free is in Group 35, but I marked them with a little asterisk. There were 5 replays from each group uploaded, and none of them had Caffeine Free in them. I'm not sure if they just couldn't get a game scheduled that week or what, but just heads up, they will not be cast, but they were in the group. So,
All right, I'm hype. I'm hype. This Group 35 looks stellar. Bojack is a monster.
oh yeah,
Flizzardo, obviously my nemesis. But I'm hyped just to get some lower level games in here too. See some of these new guys that I don't know.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I'm gonna start up this game actually, and we can get
Let's
into it.
run it.
And it's starting up now. There we go. Can everyone see this and hear this? I think we got a little bit of delay, but I believe so. I can see it in my monitor. Oh, Simo's trolling us.
Themo. No, can't see it, Kappa.
All right, well, this is a PvP. We've got a, let's see, I can't remember who this was. They're under the ID normal in the top left or top right.
It is. Let me go back. Bandit.
Bandit, gotcha. Let me edit these IDs, by the way. I have my name up there. So we've got Bandit, and we've got Tech Ajpu.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be calling this guy Tech because
Yeah.
whenever there's whenever there's two consonants in a row, I used to, I'm just like, no, it's not happening. Uh-oh, we got Bandit with the classic 9 pylon, so that's gonna be a little
Ooh.
bit late.
Just a little bit.
Just starting things off with a bang.
Yeah, it looks like
What else do
Tech
we
already
have?
has a gateway up. So just a little bit behind, but not too bad. This is I think a tier 3 group probably, so we'll see how this goes. Is Bandit going for a Nexus?
I think he is. It looks like he's like, well, I guess we're going for a Nexus now. If he is going for a gateway, I feel for him, but I'm pretty dang sure he's going for a 12 Nex.
Yeah, we'll see. He's almost got the minerals for it, so
This was actually my favorite build when I was a new player because it's just so hard to actually effectively bust if you know the reactions and everything, but it's so effective. Like there's not one single thing that the opponent player can do. And we'll see what Tech decides to. He's coming up here and scouting it.
he does see the Nexus as well as no gateway yet. Oh, there it goes down. We'll see what the follow-up is from Tech. I know how you're supposed to bust this, but I don't know if I can always pull it off. So
Yeah, and to be honest, I wouldn't expect a lot of tier 3 players to just know that you're supposed to. Spoiler alert. Proxy Robo.
that is the way to do it.
I even if you know the correct response, it's definitely tough. And like we were just saying, tier 3 players, these guys are new to the game. It's very unlikely that they're going to know the correct response at all. He is going for a 10-15 gate, it looks like, in response. Just immediately adding on that second gateway.
And look like a third gateway going down, actually. No cybercore yet, either.
Oh, I was looking at Tech. Yeah, Tech has a cyber core with Dragoons on the way, but yeah, three
Hmm.
gate Zealot is definitely going to delay your Tech a little bit, but it could be very effective if they just try and go Dragoon against you. It's very hard to get that micro, the Dragoon versus Zealot micro down at lower levels.
Yeah, especially once you get legs on the Zealots. That's not going to be in the cards for a little bit, considering Bandit has 0 gas at the moment, but still, just microing against Zealots is not very fun. The stutter stepping is kind of hard to pull off, especially when your goons just randomly decide to stop moving, and you had to spam stop to get them to go on again.
Yeah, and it just gets worse and worse the laggier it gets. Like, ugh, it's my nightmare dealing with like less than turn rate 16 with Dragoon versus Zealot stutter step micro. That's my nightmare right there. We already have 2 Dragoons though. You can see just how quick the Dragoons are coming out from this 10-15 gate. But his Zealot, the tank of the army, is already down. So it is going to be a little bit tougher. He's taking a few shots on each of these Dragoons. He's doing a decent job stutter step microing.
Yeah, both
But
the
these
Dragoons
Zealots
just lost
are just
shields.
invincible, man. These Zealots are so good.
Oh, where are these Dragoons? One of them's about dead. The other one's almost trapped. Oh. So let's see. We got 2 Zealots out right now for Bandit. 1 Zealot out. But both these Dragoons are very low. A couple hits away from death.
About to die as well.
Yep. We got 1 more attacking the Nexus. Looks like Micro was falling apart a little bit. Lots of stuff going on at the same time.
And 2 more coming up on the way as well. But with 2 Zealots at full health and more Zealots on the way. Oh, wow. It looks like Normal actually just going straight for Dragoons at this point. So he is going to be able to match, if not exceed, Tech's Dragoon production if he has the probes to do it. But I'm not sure that he does. 19 probes versus 18 probes. Both sides been a little bit lacking on the probe production. Big fight here. These Zealots just doing so much work.
I would like to see what the tech is. Yeah, he's getting a robo. Tech is getting a robo. I would think, weirdly, a DT might be pretty good in this situation. You know what the tech is for Bandit. You know that he doesn't have anything higher than a Cyber Core. Looks like another pylon going down right now. A little bit of a Dragoon fight. Looks like it's going a little bit better for Tech than it is for Bandit, but...
Yeah, Tech's doing a very good job at targeting the same thing with both of his Dragoons, and honestly, that's something I still have problems with. However, the 2 workers that are pulled, you got to give Bandit credit for not being afraid to pull his workers during these attacks, and it does make the difference in that fight. 2 Dragoons against 1. He's doing a smart job pulling back.
Yeah, that 1 Dragoon's about to go down. 2 against 1 again.
Another Dragoon about to pop. But it's no more Dragoons popping for the foreseeable future. And Tech is already way ahead with 2 Dragoons and 2 more in the natural. So it looks like Tech might be in a very advantageous position here. He's also got the robotics facility and the robotics support base, so he might be able to fly a Reaver over here pretty soon here. And we don't have any Tech coming from Normal. Despite being on 2 base, he just does not seem to have the money, whereas Tech has been spending his money very off and on at best, but he has more money for sure, it seems like. Maybe just because Normal hasn't been pulling the workers. Okay, he does manage to clean up the Dragoons that are out there. Good for him.
No more Dragoons in the way.
Citadel. Oh my god. If Normal pulls this around by getting the DT before Tech has the Observer, I'm going to lose my shit.
Does he not have an observatory? Yeah, he does not.
He doesn't have an observatory. He's just going 3-gate Dragoon.
Oh,
Reaver.
Dear.
He's pulling the classic make 2 Reavers before shuttle while not expanding and also being at 8 minutes. I love it. I love to see it. But unfortunately for him, I just think that, oh my god. Is he just not going for DTs? He's just going for Zealot legs?
Oh really? Well, he's got a lot more probes.
Zealot legs! No! Bandit! You had my hopes up so high.
They're both going for Forge, too, interestingly. Neither of them getting Observers. Just Forges. We're just going Cannons and Zealot legs.
The greatest game that I've ever watched. I love Tier 3.
It is great. Yeah, Normal's pulled ahead in the probe count by a significant margin, and Tech still doesn't have a second Nexus up. So they've got to make something happen with this Reaver pretty soon.
Although, probe count doesn't quite tell the whole story in Tier 3. We do still have even amounts of production in terms of gateway counts and the Robo for Tech. So there is a pretty good timing to be hit here, especially while while Bandit is spending all of his money on cannons and extra pylons. Definitely, as the game goes forward, he could throw down 3 more gateways and take a big army lead, but it is going to take some time. It is going to take some time.
Yeah, and a shuttle just came out.
Just does not. Oh, let's go. Let's go. We got
2
7
Reavers,
Dragoons,
7
2
Dragoons.
Reavers, and a shuttle.
That should beat this army, if assuming it's micro correctly and doesn't lose the shuttle. But we'll see how this goes.
That's the Tier 3 curse, though. You just jinxed him, man.
Oh,
this
that's
guy
true.
Is 100% gonna lose the shuttle now. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay,
Oh.
the Reavers made it out. They're going down pretty quick though. But Tech has more Dragoons.
On the bright side, the Reavers, although they weren't that effective, did kill all the Zealots. And really, I was more scared of the Zealots with that army. But
yeah, they would have tanked a lot.
Can't bust down the cannons. I didn't think about that. He just is not able to do anything against these cannons now.
Yeah, not with the gateways in the way, at least. He should be able to win this fight, assuming it takes place outside of that choke, but... And the targeting is pretty good. There are Zealots with legs on top of the Dragoons now, though. And that does make the math a little bit more fuzzy. Let's see. He's got 5 Dragoons left. Compared to the 5 or 4.
He goes...
Or 3.
Oh. Doing a pretty good job pulling back when he needs to. Only losing 1 Dragoon. These Zealots with legs are still chasing him down. He just does not quite have his gateways going at the same time as the fight, which is obviously the hardest part of this game for anyone, regardless of what level you're at. Just so tough. Which we got to give Normal credit on that. He's actually been doing pretty dang good at macroing behind. He's getting his Templar archives. He's got up to 7 gateways now off 2 gates. He's got his forge spinning. And immediately after the fight, he's got a bunch more units, a whole nother macro round ready to pop out. So good for him. Good on you, Bandit. / Normal. Not really sure.
Yeah, they're doing quite well. And it looks like there's a probe heading up toward a 3rd base or 4th base location. As well as an army going out. Are they going to push and take a base behind, perhaps? We'll see. Yeah, that probe's heading to the top left. Maybe he's trying to take a hidden expansion while doing this push at the same time. Honestly, it might not even be worth it, necessarily. I think, well, some of his army isn't in the fight, and these Reavers going out, taking care of the Zealots.
Placement from Tech. Well played, Tech.
Yes, yes. Normal has the much better macro, it seems, but Tech is doing very well for himself in terms of the army. Oh, but a lot of Dragoons are back at home for Bandit. Are there any DTs? Not that I see. And that would be an issue since there are no observers right now. For either side. Oh, the Reaver's got to fight. Okay, it looks like they're getting in position.
These Reavers putting down insane amounts of damage. We've got just not enough, unfortunately. But these Reavers, he is going to manage to save them both. Great for him. He does have 6 more Dragoons at home. He is taking an expansion. And really, he's got 37 probes. Normal has 42. Despite the fact that Normal has had his natural for 10 minutes and Tech has had his natural for 30 seconds.
Speaking of Tech, he's going for a Reaver drop in the main.
Normalize. Oh my god. But Normal is going for a push around the side, and it looks like Tech might just have needed those Reavers at home. This is going to be a huge one. If Tech is able to hold, he's going to be in a hugely advantageous position, being up 13 workers now. But there is a Zealot Dragoon hit squad coming towards Tech's natural, and that's going to be scary to deal with as well. It looks like Normal just deciding to abandon the main. Well, okay, he is going to take down the
Yeah,
shuttle. He does take down the shuttle,
shuttle's
but the
down.
damage is done.
The probe count swinging wildly in favor of Tech. Now he's got 2 bases in addition to 41 probes compared to the 26 of Normal. But Normal's beating down the natural, and there's just nothing here to defend quite yet. 3 goons, 4 goons popped out the gates. I think they'll be able to clean this up, but it might take another macro round to do it.
The one thing I wish I could have seen was making a little bit better use. It does seem like Bandit is one of those players that is focused a lot more on the macro, which is what I like to see, by the way. But having these Dragoon Zealot hit squads just working on that pylon instead of working on the probe line or even the Nexus possibly was just a little bit tough for him. However, does have enough because he's rallying over the rest from his 7 gateways that he still has. He is able to keep Tech up Tech's ramp. And now he's starting to go to work on that probe line, starting to equalize things a little bit. Tech is producing probes, but he just doesn't have enough army, though. This battle is going to go so well for Bandit, aka Normal, and he just does not have. Oh my gosh, this is so funny.
The
He's
drill.
just completely ignoring the remaining Dragoon, just going straight for that Nexus.
If he gets that Nexus, this might be game.
Tech is mined out of his main. If he loses this Nexus, it's over. He's finally pulling his workers, but will it be enough? There's 4 Dragoons and a Zealot. I don't think so.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough just to fight this. It's a small Dragoon count on both sides, but Tech just doesn't have the army. Well, okay, so 4 more goons coming down the ramp. You can push back Normal. But Normal has another 4 goons on the way, and a hidden expansion, as well as their natural, and their main is not mined out because of that Reaver drop earlier. Things are looking more and more in the favor of Normal, I'd say.
Gotta say, this guy Bandit, man.
He is good.
The late game is making it seem a lot better. Like, the early build, wasn't quite sure what was going on there, but late game, even with the Reaver drop, let's not forget, 3 minutes ago, he was at 26 probes. He's already back up at 51. He's gotten all his gateways. He's gotten all his tech. He's working on the upgrades on the Forge. He has 2-0 as opposed to just 1-0 from tech. So good on him. Really playing the late game very well here. Tech doing his absolute best to hold this, but it's 7 Dragoons and a Zealot versus 4 Dragoons. I just don't think he's going to be able to, and the Nexus is already so close to being down. Bandit could literally just A-click this and kill it, but will he do it? He's pulling workers again. Oh my god.
I don't think it matters. Yeah, he's...
Just click the Nexus! Oh my god!
I think it's too late for Tech. He just doesn't have the army in addition to Nexus, and that's a GG.
That is a GG. Well played. Well played.
Well played indeed.
To Bandit. He does manage to make use of that probe advantage from the early game, despite it taking a while. That was a very chaotic early game.
That really was. There was a bunch of back and forth on both sides. I like that quite a bit. That was our first game of the day. A nice PvP to spice things up. And now I've got a ZVZ on the way. This is Intion and Reed coming up. Let's get the game going.
Let's get it. So ZVZ, famously me and Ashen's best matchup as casters.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're ready for this.
Almost as good as PVZ. All right, in the top right, we've got, I believe this is Reed. as the purple Zerg. And the bottom left, we've got Intion as, I think this is... Oh, what color is this? I don't think it's olive. This is like, I don't know. I always make
Is
fun
it
of
not
the...
olive?
It,
No, I'm
well,
pretty sure.
I
I
think
thought
it
it was
is.
olive. I don't
I
know.
think you're right. I think you're right. I I always am just like, oh no, it's this color, obviously. And then whenever I'm actually casting, it's like, I don't know the colors anymore.
Exactly. You just go colorblind for a minute while you're casting. It's part of the caster curse. Little known fact. Um,
It's gotta be.
Ringoose going for a 9 gas.
Oh
Uh,
no,
oh,
extractor
never mind.
trick.
He's going for the extractor trick. Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't know what's going on there.
I'm wondering if is that a thing in ZVZ? I mean, I guess he did it.
He
Yeah.
did it, so it's definitely a thing. We'll see. We'll see. We got Intion going for the 9 pool. So whatever is going on, he is gonna have the advantage. It looks like Reed / Ringoose might just be going for. Oh,
Oh,
I got like an overpool.
10 pool? Kind of interesting. And a gas,
Yeah,
okay. So their gas is about the same time, but Intion's pool is significantly faster. I think that favors
yeah.
Intion in this circumstance.
I actually think I I'm not 100% sure. Don't get me wrong, but I think that since Reed has Zerglings fast enough to defend,
Hmm.
like just barely, that it's going to
Ah,
help him because then he can get the Spire faster. But
true.
again, neither of us ZVZ experts. We'll see what happens here, folks. Besides, it is tier 3 ZVZ,
Hmm.
which is practically a whole separate matchup. So it's possible Ringoose just decides he makes a bunch of drones, and then we just start both flabbergasted, and Intion wins immediately.
Yeah, I know that
Ringoose going.
early
I'm sorry.
hatch is favored in favor. Early hatch is favored against early lings because you just have more larvae. But I don't know about this situation. This
Mhm.
is a little unique.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Uh, both sides going for speed first, so it's not going to be a huge advantage in Spire timing for Reed like it could have been. Um, but he's actually just going to. This is interesting. Um, he hasn't scouted that there's a hatchery or anything, and he's just going to go send out these lings.
Now,
So,
Infion is
Intion.
running his lings around the bottom side of the map. It looks like he's going to counterattack whenever Reed attacks him.
This is great. Wow. Uh, yeah, 4 lings versus 4 lings is going to be fine for Intion at home. 6 lings popping out.
Hmm.
Uh, or the 5th and 6th lings popping out for Intion, just enough to match those lings from Ringoose.
Speed on both
Intion
sides
going for the
finish.
attack, has just 2 more lings, which is huge. Ends up with 3 lings total by the time the attack is done, just because there was 2 less lings for Ringoose at the beginning of that. 4 lings are popping, so it should be enough to clear this out. But can he kill any drones by the time it goes? No, decides against it. Just decides to go some sick micro.
Oh.
Oh my god, is this Jadong? Did you see it? He just won
I did.
3 lings against 4.
And that one
What
ling
the
is
fuck?
still alive.
This ling is a. It had 3 kills. This ling is a hero.
Intion at this point looks massively ahead. They both got the same number of drones, but Intion has a bigger bank, Spire on the way, whereas Reed's layer isn't even finished yet. I think it's just a matter of if he can hold on against these lings. And that might be an issue, considering that Reed does have 2 hatches up, which means the ling production is going to be much higher. But does it matter against the microlings? I'm not sure.
Yeah, if we're gonna be able to just win the ling fights, no matter how few lings we have, Intion, if he continues playing at this Zerg, if he continues playing at this Zeke micro level, it's looking very good for him.
Is he pulling drones to fight? Is this a mistake or is this intentional?
Oh, I think this is just a mistake, but if he actually pulls the boys to fight for one last stand, I gained a whole new level of respect for Ringoose. It is interesting that Intion is going for this expansion. Oh no, Ringoose
Mm.
feeds a couple into Intion's base or into Intion's links. He is doing the smart thing here, just taking down this hatchery. But this Spire timing is so ahead that I'm wondering if it's even going to matter. Unless he can bust this ramp before mutas come out, I think the mutas are going to win the game. Oh my god. Is he doing... I thought he was going to drill the ramp and then bust the lings out of it, but it just does not matter. He botched the attack just a bit, and all of a sudden he loses 5 lings basically for free. Intion, once again, getting such great exchanges.
Yeah, and
The
he's
man's
also
the
got
micro
3
god.
mutas on the way. It looks like... I might be incorrect about this, but since the Spire's so late, I think he needs an Evo chamber up yesterday in order to get some or not spore crawlers. That's StarCraft 2. That's the wrong game. We're
My
not doing that.
guy.
Spore
Bruh.
colonies, excuse me.
He does have a creep colony going up, and he has an Evo chamber at the main, or at the natural, so it looks like he might just have...
Oh, I missed
This is
that.
hilarious. Two Mutalisks coming in, but how much damage are they going to be able to get done? Oh, this is... The Spore Colony might be a little bit misplaced, unfortunately, because he does have to pull the boys to avoid it. And he just now realizes there are 4 drones that are not mining. You can see Intion, some sick Muta Micro.
You want to
Okay.
attack... oh, nope. Never mind. I thought Reed was going to attack the natural there, but I guess not. Yeah, he can just hit these drones from this location. That spore colony just can't do anything about it.
This is so tragic for Reed, especially with the fact that he was like 3 drones ahead, but just was not able to capitalize on his economic advantage because of the fact that 4 drones were not mining.
He can't even afford the second spore colony yet. His drones are just being picked off one by one. Okay, now it's mutating. But I think it's a little bit too little too late. He's already down to 6 drones compared to Intion's 8. Although Intion does not have a second base, or at least no second hatch, I should say. But he does have, let's see, how many mutas is this total? 6 mutas in total, compared to the 0 of Freed. Yeah, I think just too much economic damage has been done. Reed has plenty of gas, but just no minerals at the moment. And now he's chasing away these lings, which are basically the only thing Reed has as far as fighting strength left.
Yeah, as soon as these lings go down, it seems like it's going to get insanely tough for Reed. The only way I could really see it, he is popping out some Scourge, which I like a lot. It seems much tougher to micro against Scourge than to just build the Scourge and A-click them on the Mutalisks. So I think that's one avenue that he could use to get back in this game, and then try and drone behind. He is making a couple drones at his main, so that's a good move for him. I like that. But yeah, it's just so much economic damage was already dealt. It's 11 drones for Intion versus 7 for Ringoose. And despite the fact that Intion doesn't have a natural, let's not forget this is ZVZ. His mineral counts on these mineral patches are at 900, 930, 950, 1200, 1450 on one mineral patch that has just never been mined. This is absurd. So it's not as if he's in any risk of mining out because he doesn't have a natural.
Yeah, and Reed has lost all their lings, has 9 drones left, no sunken colonies, 1 muta. This is looking better and better for Intion. I think we're going to see a GG here pretty soon. Yeah, the lings are streaming into the natural. They're going to be able to take out this hatchery. Even with these 4 Scourge, that's 7 mutas compared to 1. So even if every single Scourge connects, that's still, what, 3 mutas down, I think?
Yeah, and with the hatchery, his only nominal advantage does go down. These Scourge just doing major work. Pretty nice pick off, though, from Intion. Does manage to micro against a single Scourge. A second Scourge, I think, connects. Oh my gosh.
Well, 2 of these mutas are
It's
very low for Intion. Just a couple Muta hits, and I think they might go down, which would even the odds a little bit. Assuming Reed can live through these Lings. Okay, okay. So he did.
Just imagine, though, if Ringoose had kept his Lings at home
Mm-hmm.
and was able to defend that attack with like 10 more Lings, I don't think he takes any damage at all. And to be honest, I think that might be a game changer. Now, as of right now, he has droned up enough that it seems like he's back in it economically. But the military forces are just not quite there. You can see Intion doubling up Ringoose in supply, Reed in supply.
Oh, and losing that Overlord too. 15 out of 17 supply compared to the
Oh my gosh,
35.
these Lings trying to kill drones. One does go down. Oh my gosh, one lives with 1 health. Now 4 health after the drones heal, but absolutely sick play from Intion, just managing to save everything.
Yeah, Reed needs as many advantages as he can get right now. Taking out this Overlord might be a good starting point at least. It will supply block Intion, slow him down just a little bit, but he's got 10 mutas on the way. 4 more
He
Scourge
does
flying
have
in.
10 mutas, and it probably isn't going to matter. But we do see 4 spore colonies, or 3 spore colonies and a creep colony. So Ringoose is going for the classic mass static D into try and drone harder strat. But we can just see it's 42 supply to 13. It's a very rough position for Intion. With
Yeah.
correct micro, he might be able, or it's a very good position for Intion, rather. I don't know if I said something wrong there.
Yeah, especially with the second hatch up. However, this... I don't know how many mutas it takes to beat a spore colony, but there are 4 right now, so... Until these Lings come in, Intikon can't really do a whole lot.
Oop.
So, Reed has a little bit of time, and time is what he needs right now. Sees the Lings streaming in with the Scourge.
And there's going to be no defense. Usually, you don't need sunken colonies because you have some mutas to defend. But of course, Reed has no mutas to try and take down these Zerglings. And these Zerglings are just going to wreak havoc on Reed's base. We see the Spire going down. We see multiple Spore colonies about to go down. There's only one Mutalisk raining down fire. And he does manage to clean it up, but it just seems like such a rough position still. He's almost doubled up in drone count. He's almost quadrupled up in supply. And just more and more Lings are going to come streaming out. We already see a control group or so headed across the map to deal more damage.
Yeah, Reed lived through that attack, but can he live through the next one and the next one and the next one? That's the real question. And Intion doesn't even need the microlinks anymore. He just has so many more. Even more streaming across the map right now. In addition to the 11 mutas.
And yet, despite not needing to microlinks, he still manages to kill 4 Lings for like 1 Ling. This dude is a Zergling god. I'm just throwing it out there, man. Intion, my respect to you, sir.
Yeah, their
Like,
Ling micro is insane, especially for this level.
I should be saying them. I apologize. I apologize. My
Uh,
respect to you, person. But their Ling micro is actually disgusting. Oh my gosh. I hope they do the same thing in ZVP where they just have like sick Zergling versus Zealot micro. I want to see that.
oh, I do too. I'm not sure. Okay, it's not quite yet. We have a ZVT coming up first, but we will get a ZVP with them soon. This one is going to be Intion versus the Clavson.
Alrighty.
Lobby's up.
Hopping in.
Getting this started here in a second. There we go. Oh, you know what? I've been forgetting to change the names of the players. Excuse me. Well, in the top right, we have the purple Zerg. This, I believe, is Intion again. And the bottom left, and this is definitely Olive. We've got the Clavson. Let me change these. names. There we go. All right, perfect. So, LeaSt, what do you know about the wonderful ZVT matchup? Because my knowledge is definitely lacking in this area.
I know that Goliaths are good, and I know that Two Racks Academy is a build. That's basically I know the very basics. I know that Tube Grub, aka Intion,
Mhm.
is not going for a 4 pool. So we got that going for us, which is nice. But yeah, we'll run this one out while we see it. Uh,
Absolutely. Yeah, no pool coming down yet, so I'm assuming this is going to be a hatch pretty soon. They
yeah,
have
it looks like. Oh, he's missing one larva, but yeah, he is just gonna go for 12 hatch. And Vaclavson gonna go for a barracks. So nothing too out of the ordinary for either players here. No 8 racks, no 3 hatch before pool. Well, I suppose we could still see a 3 hatch before pool. We'll see what happens. That would be bold.
Yeah, it looks like there's a... Oh, never mind. I thought there was a drone in position for a pool, but nothing yet. Oh, there one goes. Okay, so we've got a
Oh,
pool on the way.
Vaclavson going for 2 barracks before expand. So he is going to be putting on some early pressure here. I
Mm.
believe the correct response to this is simply to make a few sunkens and then just have a much faster second base than the Terran player does. However, again, folks, it's T3. There is no guarantee they know the correct response or will execute the correct response regardless. Uh, it looks like, yeah, this SEV being a little bit annoying. Will this SEV get a kill, though? This is the most important thing in my life right now. Uh, this drone, 12 health. The SEV
It's
tracking it
going
down.
for it.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Please. Please.
I think he's lost the drone at this point.
Yeah, yeah. Now that the drone is in the middle of the mineral line, it's pretty hard to
Mm.
track down. Okay, he is going for a 3rd hatchery. I like that. A lot of newer players try and immediately emulate the pros, doing stuff like 2 hatch Muta, ZVT, or like 3 hatch Spire, 5 hatch Hydra. I just don't think it's necessary, man. I think
Mhm.
going for this 3rd hatchery is a very pragmatic play from Intion. I'm
Yeah,
liking this guy more and more the more I see him. Manages
I
to
am
not
too.
lose a drone to an SEV kill. Like, and he's just making smart build decisions. Let's go. Vaclavson, the big thing, I don't think he knows that there's no expansion. Has he scouted? Let me see. No, he hasn't scouted the natural. So it's remains to be seen whether or not he's going to be able to tell that this is an early 2 racks pressure.
Yeah, Academy just finished, so I don't know the cost of the upgrades for Terran, but I'm assuming we're going to see something pretty soon. Probably STEM or Marine range. I'm not sure which you get first, but how many is Marines is this? This is 8 Marines coming up. And the 3rd hatch for Intion just finished. So
Hey,
far, both players just stay
medic
in their
popping out of the
bases.
barracks.
Oh.
Stim being researched. He is going across the map with 9 Marines and 1 medic, as opposed to just 6 Zerglings from Intion right now. Of course, Intion, kind of a legend around these parts of micro, but we'll see. That's a big ask from anybody. He does look like he has a drone in place to put down the sunken, but he's not putting it down quite yet. Will he have enough time if he even reacts right now? Yeah, the creep colony goes down, but these Marines already halfway across the map. This is going to be scary, folks.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens. I'm pretty sure that 9 Marines beats this, but if he can buy just a little bit of time to get these Sunkens up.
Oh, he's focusing on the wrong creep colony,
Uh-oh.
and he's pulling back when he doesn't have to. Oh, Vaclavson, just focus, just I don't even know what to say. Oh my God, the sunken gets up.
The Sunken's
The
up.
sunken gets up. Will it be enough? Oh, the
I think
sunken's
it's
about to go
enough.
down, but the second. Oh my
Oh,
gosh, sick play. The Firebat actually just doing work on these Zerglings, but two sunken colonies survived. So it's not going to be a bust here from Vuklovsyn, probably. But it doesn't look like he's making any effort to take a second barrack or a second expansion. So he's just committing further and farther to trying to deal with this. Oh
got a
my god,
bunch of
attacking a
lings.
Firebat with Zergling seems scary, but he does manage to pull it off with his God Micro.
Gonna lose these medics too from the looks of it, unless these 4 Marines can do something about it. Okay,
Oh,
loses one
Marines are
medic.
absolutely nuts right now. These guys, this is boxer versus yellow right here.
We got double Evo chamber coming down from Intion, so it looks like it's gonna be Crazy Zerg. I think that's what this means. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I see him upgrading Hydralisk attack, so it looks like it might just be Hydralisk play,
Hmm.
um, which is very interesting as well. I'm not 100% sure on all the details of that, but he just does have so much of an economic advantage at this point. He is taking a third base, where Vuklovsyn only has one base. Oh, he's sending in 3 lings to go harass the main. This is going to be disgusting if it works, but Vuklovsyn sees it coming, does manage to get an SEV on top of the ramp and clean things up without any economic damage.
Intion does see that there's no expansion for Verklapsen, so he knows that they're ahead, at least in terms of economy. Just gotta hang on against these Marines. I don't think they can bust this, though. There's 3 Sunkens here. Well, okay, they lost a bunch of Lings trying to run around, but... Oh, and a sneaky little third going down for Intion. I don't think the Clapson knows about this. Yeah, they have not even scouted that area yet, so... A few more Marines streaming across the map. And the Clapson is starting to take a second base. Although it's quite a bit later than I think normal.
Oh yeah, and it's gonna get delayed even farther. These 3 lings with speed gonna probably never mind. Oh my
Nope.
god, these guys are insane.
5
Did you
HP
see
left.
that Marine Micro from Vuklovsyn? This guy's tier 3.
That combined with the just nice SCV RNG, just not letting the Zerlings hit it at quite the right times. Yeah, it looks like it is just Hydras. I thought it would be Lurkers, but no Lurker aspect yet. But Hydra speed on the way. That's
I
quite
think
interesting.
Intion really wanting a fight here, but I think the best thing he can do is just mass up, wait until he gets a bigger, more scary army with Hydras and possibly some Lurkers. You can see with the medics, the Marines are just kind of shredding these small groups of Hydras right now. One Hydra Sergeant, though, over here with 2 kills and 0 damage done to him. That's a sniper over there. He just does not give a crap.
There is a tank on the
Uh,
way. It's made it to the
yeah,
natural of Intion, and it does have siege mode, so it looks like unless Intion can do something about this tank, it's just going to start shelling down these sunken colonies, and I don't think Intion can really do a whole lot about it yet. No lurkers, no mutas to try to snipe this tank. I think they might be able to hit it from the high ground, but Intion's not going for it yet. Oh, but the Collapson doesn't have a vision of the sunken, so he can't actually hit them right now. Oh,
oh,
scans for it. That's one sunken down. But keep in mind, Intion does have this third base that he snuck in. So, Vuklavson definitely does not know about this yet. Because, well, I don't know. You could probably run this group of Marines up there and take those songs. I'm not sure on that. But my heart says you can.
yeah, it just seems like, okay, 1-1 about to finish from these Evo chambers. It just seems like it would be so helpful to have just a couple lurkers here to shred these Marines. The tanks
Mm-hmm.
move forward just a little bit, and they are going to range down these sunken colonies, forcing a fight from Intion, but I don't know how well it's going to work.
Oh,
He's
the
not sending
flank.
all his troops in at once, but he does get a sick flank. Oh my god, is he gonna do it?
It just wiped out this entire army. All the medics die. Both the tanks die. And I think the Clavson's in a really tough spot right now. How many racks do they have? Two still,
That's two.
with a
Yeah,
third
that
on the
was
way.
kind of their big. That was kind of their big moment there, and it seems like it just was not quite enough
Yeah, the
for the
Clavson needs
Clavson.
bunkers and tanks, and just a bigger army to hold this attack off. But I think it's a little bit too little, too late.
Yeah, that 1-1 was a huge power spike. It seemed from Intion, and just managed to completely clear Vaclavson's army, and Vaclavson just does not have enough production to remake it. Yeah, these Hydras
Hmm.
doing absolute work in the natural. These Zerglings doing absolute work, harassing siege tanks up top, making sure they can't kill these Hydralisks.
The tank did survive those Zerglings that ran up the ramp, though. So there's two tanks up on the high ground that are shelling down these Hydras. And Hydras die very quickly to tanks if the Hydras can't get on top of them. So Vaclavson
Um,
lives for now, but Intion does still have 3 bases up, more upgrades on the way, more macro hatches coming up as well. Vaclavson needs this expansion in order to just keep up in any capacity. Looks like they are going to clear out these Hydras. But
oh
Intion
no.
is sending a much larger army on the way.
Unfortunately, 6 kill Hydralisk just went down. These Zergs, man, they're ruthless. They don't
Oh,
have any respect for their officers. But Terran dropship is getting loaded up with 5 Marines, 2 medics. We're gonna see some dropship harass from Vaclavson, but will he have enough at home to hold this Hydra play that is on the way? I'm scared for both players. Somehow, I'm scared for both players here. Like, Intion is just rallying over every single unit. He's not going to have anything at home to deal with this dropship. But also, Vaclavson, I just don't know if he's going to be able to hold this massive Hydras coming down his front.
yeah, it's. I'm very curious to see what happens. I don't know the math on this. The 3 tanks on the high ground definitely helping, but there's just so many lings just coming up the ramp, or about to come up the ramp. It looks like the dropship just stalls in the bottom right. It's heading up toward the north now.
Lings rallying across the map. These, this is what's killing us. Is the tanks on high ground just not quite able to range down these Hydras from over here? He finally moves one over into a point where they are able to kill the Hydras. A dropship doing
Dropship.
massive damage in the natural.
Oh,
A
that's so many
dropship doing massive
drones.
damage. That's so many drones. He was up 10 drones, or he was up 10 workers, but now is actually lower
Down
on
one, two.
worker count.
Oh, these
Oh,
Marines
this
doing
is
a
so
ton of
sick.
work. They even took out that one sunken. But there's just so many lings on the way. And still that one Hydra. I don't know how many SCVs that Hydra killed. I just missed the kill count on it, but I imagine it was yet another Zerg officer going down. But there's just so many
Intion though
lings on the
taking a
way.
fourth base. Like it just seems like there's no way a sick D matrix, but like it's just gonna. There's so many lings that it kind of doesn't matter.
Hmm.
And Intion, man, you've got a fan. I want to see how this guy does the rest of the CPL season. He's taking bases, he's droning up, he's just macroing his heart out, and he's got some sick micros sometimes too. Like this dude is
Hmm.
kind of nutty. Vaclavson played a heck of a game too. That dropship play, I loved it. That was how you get back into a game like this with the tanks on the high ground. But I just think that Intion just has a little bit too much here.
Yeah, and even with these barracks undergoing production, just whenever the Zerg army gets on top of your production, there's very little you can do at that point. And the collapse in
GG is
GG's.
called.
Great
Wow.
game from both sides.
Wow, there were so many moments in that game that just made my jaw drop. The Marine micro from Vaclavson, the the Army clear from Intion. Wow. Great game.
Yeah, that was very fun. Now I am looking forward to seeing this next match because we have Tech versus again Intion.
Ooh, let's go. Okay, okay, okay.
And let's see if I can do this. Whoops. All right, so in the top right, this is again Intion. In the I believe this is normal blue Zerg. And the bottom left, we've got Tech as the purple Protoss.
Wait, 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 wait. Is Ringus? I thought Ringus was Reed. Am I wrong?
Are they Reed? I thought they were Intion. I had it in the name of the replay.
Oh, okay.
Let me double check that real quick. So group 11. Yeah, you're right. This is Reed. Excuse me. Excuse me.
No worries.
Let me.
This is what I'm talking about, though. Some PVZ. This is our wheelhouse right here.
Absolutely, and that is honestly why I picked these groups. They have a good amount of ZVP going on in both of them. Piling the natural coming down for the Protoss, so no one base shenanigans at least.
Yeah, I honestly am kind of surprised. Good on Tech for kind of pushing the early game boundaries. He's going for a Ashen.
Is that?
I am 1600 MMR. I do not go for gate expand. This man is an animal. What is happening? Ringoose is going to go for the hatch first. So this is going to get spicy real quick. If Tech can kill a few drones, this game might just snowball right off the get.
Yeah, I am very curious to see how this is going to go because as hard as gate expand is to pull off, especially at lower levels, if you don't know how to hold it, on the other hand, it's also going to do quite a bit of damage. So I think I am very curious to see how this goes. First Zealot is on the way, at least being in production. And the pool is going down for Reed.
Tech's a hero for doing this. Tech, I just love this entire group, man. This entire group is so stellar for tier 3. I don't normally have this much fun casting tier 3 games, but this is absurd.
Yeah,
Going
this
gate expand, we're going freaking 12 pool or 12 hatch ZVP. This is nutty.
Yeah, I've got to wonder how close or slash if they are maybe low tier 2. I don't know exactly how these groups are breaking down, but this is group 11 out of 45, so I think it's on the cusp.
Right, right. I was gonna say some of these guys definitely seem like they could be low tier 2. So,
Mm-hmm.
oh, he is going for the immediate forge after the gateway. So
Mm.
he's really gonna need to do some damage here with these zealots if he doesn't want to be economically behind. Two hatch
Two-hatch
layer coming
layer.
from Reed. Oh my god. And the
Ooh.
drone pull just absolutely stellar, kills the probe right off the bat, and the probe, as we know, does so much for these zealots, but
Zealot
the
already gets
zealot is
one.
getting sick damage too.
Two.
Oh my god. 3? Can we get 3?
Can we get a 3 in the chat?
Can we
Okay.
get a 3 in the chat? Look at this. It's already 18
Oh,
probes to
no.
12 drones. This is so sick. There's a second zealot meeting up with the first one to team up. And if he just turns around, he can easily kill these two Zerglings, but he's so focused on the drones.
Still, the 2 drones going down is absolutely insane. Third Zealot coming up. Oh, there's just 2 drones just sitting in the natural. If Tech saw that. Third drone going down.
Ashen. He is going for one base shenanigans. He has a gas. He has a gas with no
No Nexus.
nexus. Oh my gosh, these drone kills. Tech, you animal. He's just right clicking on drones all over the place.
Oh, did I miss another one? I was actually looking at Tech's base. Was that
The
4 drones?
absolute madman. Yeah, I think that was 4 drones in total. So it's
Wow.
21 probes to 12 drones right now. and that's just you're already on such a economic
Hmm.
tightrope with the two hatch muta build. So to just lose 4 drones like that, that's so ridiculous. He is gonna put down this Nexus. He is gonna put down a photon cannon and a cybernetics core coming on the way. So he just might have a Stargate on time. But if
Maybe.
these Lings get in the base, will it even matter? Will it
Oh,
even
oh,
matter? This
oh, the
photon
second
cannon.
zealot popping out just in time. And it
Oh
looks
my
like
gosh! Run, 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 run!
block the ramp. He has to
Oh
block. Oh,
my god! That ramp block!
that was beautiful.
That was
One
so
ling.
disgusting!
One ling in the main. And it's going down. So, Reed is down in workers. Has fewer bases than a normal Zerg would at this point.
Gosh! Why
Heck,
is everyone in this group pro gamers?
I have no idea, but they
The,
are.
the only the micro is absolutely ridiculous. Some of these builds could use refinement, of course, but
Mhm.
like these guys just have moments where they're going completely off. The Spire just about to finish, and it does look like Ringoose is gonna have enough to make 6 Mutalisks right away. Um, this is gonna be scary for Tech. Despite Tech having such a good early game, he does not have a Stargate yet.
Mhm.
He doesn't have more than one cannon at any particular location, and you do need 2 cannons at a location to hold off 6 Mutalisks.
There's also no Templar tech, so that means there's no Archon to do anything against these mutas. So Tech, despite the amazing opening, is basically defenseless against these mutalisks.
Yeah, he needs cannons right now. Like he needs cannons 30 seconds ago because the Mutalisks are already coming across the map. And I am so scared for our boy Tech. He just did so much damage early on, but the Muta's just gonna come right past. This reminds me of when I started playing. Oh,
Yeah.
he's not even going for a Stargate. I thought the Stargate was gonna come up. Maybe if he held off the first
Oh
round, then he would
no.
have it. But it's a Citadel.
Oh no, this is not gonna go well.
Oh man, no. Yeah, the Mutalisks just
Mm.
immediately start picking off probes. And they're just gonna A-click on the photon cannon. The photon cannon, maybe it'll get one Mutalisk before it falls.
One mutalisk does go down, but so does the cannon. Oh, I thought that was another cannon, but no, that was a pylon. And it's just a GG immediately. Oh,
Wow.
Tech. Oh, Tech. That was so close. Yeah,
No
I
close
think
yet so
with
far.
I think with a little bit of refinement, that would have gone significantly differently. If
No
they had
doubt, no doubt.
that Stargate up in time, um, just I'm just amazed by this group so far. I just kind of picked it for the matchups. I didn't recognize any of the players in it, and they are all phenomenal.
Yeah,
But
this is great. Like I was, oh man, if we just had a little bit of yeah, a little bit faster Stargate, maybe recognize that we need some cannons, it would have been just fine. But Tech does have a chance to redeem himself against the man, the myth, the legend, Intion.
so we have Intion in the top right is the Black Zerg, and again picking purple in the bottom left is Tech. I guess that's Tech's color. Mine's magenta, so I get it. But
I respect everyone. I feel like warm colors are definitely the meta right now. Personally, I'm a little bit off brand. I like to go with the I like to go with oh, he's just now sending out his probe. Might be a little bit late. It's fine though. Um,
not too bad.
yeah, not too bad. I like going with the lime, is what I was trying to say. Let's see.
The
Will he go
lime.
for this gateway expand again? Yeah, I know. It's kind of a weird choice. I don't know why, but it just screams Protoss to me.
Huh.
What can I say? I'm not like other casters. Hee hee. Just kidding. Uh,
Yeah,
it.
I like yellow for Protoss. That's kind of what their color is to me, but I just
Right.
like
I feel
magenta
that. I feel that.
more.
Yeah, magenta's a great color for sure. For sure. He's gonna do it
Gateway.
again. Wow, this is nuts. And
I
it looks like it's gonna be
suppose
the exact same. Oh, it's just a
Oh,
it's just like an 11 pool. So this is a little bit of an offbeat
mhm.
opening from Intion. Uh, but it might just end up working out perfectly for him. Like he'll have Zerglings just in time to deal with the Zealots. He still should have a relatively fast expansion comparatively, uh, compared to something like a 9 pool speed or something like that. If you really wanted to go ham.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this is gonna go. He does see the pool is down. It looks like that drone is heading in the direction to build that net or next hatch.
Oh, this is going to be so annoying. Is he going to put the probe or the
Oh,
pylon? Yes, he is. And if Intion does the correct thing, which it looks like he's going to, just
yeah.
take his third
Hmm.
as his natural instead, uh, it's going to just be that much harder to deal with these zealots that are coming up. There's two distinct areas you have to defend, the third and the main, rather than just the one choke if you were able to successfully take your natural.
Zealot is not on the way, but it looks like Tech does know that these are 6 lings in production, so that is actually correct. Now, are they going to head straight for the bait? Oh, I guess the pylon isn't there anymore. No, they're going to try to take out that probe first. They do manage to catch it. Tech's putting down the forage in response to this. I'm hoping to see, assuming they live through the lings, a faster Nexus this round.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
We He's going for the gas again. He just likes to get that
Oh, canceled
early
it.
gas, I suppose. Uh, he's pulling some probes, making sure he doesn't die to these 6 lings. He does have 2 zealots, so I don't think it's very likely. But he's just doing a smart thing. He's blocking
Hmm.
the ramp, making sure there's no possibility of a run by. Better safe than sorry at these levels. I just feel like, um, sure, once you get to S rank, you can worry about freaking. Oh, I need to have optimal mining at all times and not pull any workers unless I absolutely have to. But when you're 1100 MMR, just make sure they can't run by, man. That's totally valid. Totally valid.
And they did
Uh,
manage to do that, so banking up some minerals. I don't think they need these probes on the ramp anymore, but
yeah, I think, especially now that he has 4 zealots blocking the choke, you can probably pull back. He does have enough for a cyber core. He is going to go for a. So this is kind of funny.
hmm.
Intion a little bit debated. Just because obviously you see the gateway and the forge out front, you assume that he has a nexus, but Intion, the only thing that it changes is that really you would just want 2 bases with 3 hatcheries instead of 3 bases with 3 hatcheries against a 1 base play. Um, but we're gonna see a big push here. 5 zealots from Tech. Oh, just sending out 4 zealots, keeping 1 at home to block the choke.
That's probably good.
Just as such
Yeah,
a pragmatic play or practical play from Tech. Good for him. Force a lot of Zerglings. I don't see any Zerglings being. There's one pair
five
of
sets of
Zerglings that's
lings
about to
being
finish.
made,
Oh, there's some at the. Yeah.
and
I
a
forgot the
hydrogen
third
just
was first.
finished. Oh no, those zealots just walked straight by all these lings. Oh dear.
Oh dear. It does look like the Lynx have speed, so that's
That should
advantageous for
help.
Intion. And of course, Intion is actually secretly Jaedong. But can he pull these workers in time?
It looks like the answer
Oh
is
my gosh.
yes. These zealots are going to go down very, very quickly at this rate. Now, what is Tech's response? They did see this hydrogen. They're just putting out a citadel. I like that personally.
Yeah,
Although I think you
I think
still need
so.
the cannons. Not quite yet, but am I correct about that?
Yeah, I mean, if you see the Hydroden, there's no reason for you to go Stargate. You would still need probably a second and third cannon, especially when you sacrifice your zealots like that. Don't get me wrong; it's economically did a great job. He is 29 workers to 17 workers, but yeah, if you don't defend against this eventual counterattack, you're going to be in trouble. Still no second Nexus for Tech. Very interesting play. Um, to go for the early pressure and then just not worry about taking a fast second Nexus. It's almost like he's going 2-gate, but it's just like he's doing the gate expand version of 2-gate. You know what I'm saying? He is throwing down some cannons. Okay.
Okay. So I think Tech probably needs 1 or 2 more cannons to hold the Hydras, but maybe I'm wrong about that. We'll see how it plays out, but well, then again, he's got a lot of zealots. Fourth gate on the way. And how many zealots is this? 8 zealots. I think the Hydras are just a little late, though. Like I would think they should be across the map. Yeah.
Yeah. You can see Hydra speed still needing to be finished. It's just the fact that the upgrades are a little bit late, unfortunately. You'd really want the Hydras to be there with range if you're going to go for a range first and then get speed afterwards. But he just has so many lings that I'm a little bit... Oh, I don't know anymore. Zealot speed about to finish. I think there's so many Zealots here.
Yeah, and +1 is finished. Armor is on the way. Yeah, I think these Zealots are just going to shred these Hydras. And Lings. Yep.
Yeah, especially the Lings. They're two-shotting the Lings right now. And I just don't think that Intion is going to have enough at home to defend. If he was to defend, I think he would need to put down a bunch of Sunkens like right now. But these Zealots are so quick with that speed upgrade, I don't think that it's going to matter. There's 8 Zealots coming on the way, and there's 5 Hydras at home. Will he be able to hold? I don't know, but it's looking rough for our boy Intion. Tech is...
The one thing, if Intion can live through this, Tech still does not have a second Nexus.
That is true.
Well, we'll see what happens. I don't think... Yeah, I think there are just too many Zealots. And Lings at this point are not going to be strong enough against this. Not with the +1 Zealots. He did pull all the drones. Oh, not these. 3, 4, 5 drones down.
Wow.
And the Hydras. Just on a rally.
He's got Templar Psystorm coming up, so even if somehow Intion holds this, it's not as if he can go for a counterattack and win the game outright. Just absolutely sick play from Tech. I love it, man. This guy, like, it seemed like a pretty well thought out build, though, too. The +1 and the Zealot legs finish around the same time. And he just moves out with a huge mass of Zealots, managing to do what he needs to do. And we can see, despite it being 3 base to 1, there's only 18 drones for Intion, and there's 41 probes for Tech. So, I honestly think the economic advantage is going to Tech for quite a bit here, until he just mines out, which I don't think is going to be a factor in this game.
Yeah, it's... Yep, there's just too many Zealots at this point, I think. And there's the GG from Intion.
GG.
Man. Okay, this game working out a lot better for our Protoss Tech. The gate expand definitely playing out correctly this time.
Yeah, that was wild. I don't know. I did not think that Intion was going to lose a game in this group just based on what I'd seen from him before. But Tech managing to find that sweet spot, hit his build, have a nice little timing with some Zealots, with some +1 speed Zealots. You got to respect it. You got to respect it.
Oh, definitely. Well, I hope you like PVZ because we've got another one coming up. And this time we're moving on to Group 35. And as I mentioned earlier, there are only 5 replays per group. So this game, we've got our wonderful Zerg hero Bojack from Ami, as am I. And the top right is the purple Zerg, and then the bottom left, we have the blue Protoss Ireeve from Team IRK. So this is bumping up quite a few groups. These players are probably in the tier 1, tier 0 range or so. I am looking forward to seeing this, especially seeing how Bojack plays. We had played a few practice games, like, I don't know, maybe like a week ago or so. I wonder if it was in response to this. He asked me to do something specifically that he was having issues with, and I'm curious to see if any of these games are going to exhibit it. I'm not going to out Bojack's weaknesses for obvious reasons, but I am curious to see how this goes. So
Yeah, Bojack, once he gets into that, once he gets comfortable, and once he get, that's, I was like, immediately after I started that sentence, I was like, yeah, I don't want to out his weaknesses either. But as soon as he gets comfortable, he is a scary man.
Mm-hmm.
I have played a few games against him, and he just wipes the floor with me, to be honest. Rev coming in here. It looks like Rev's just going for a Forge expand. My kind of guy. Just stay comfortable. Do your thing.
Yeah, and
Does
Bojack
mean,
throwing
of
down the
course,
pool. Oh, sorry.
yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Does mean, of course, Bojack is not going to need to make more than a couple lings to try and chase this probe down once he sees it. Rev being very annoying with this probe, but actually slightly early. And so that hatchery does not go down very late at all. It goes down around 207 when it could have gone down at 205.
Mm-hmm.
Not a huge deal at all. Rev going for this cannon first, just in case Bojack decided to make lings. Doesn't look like Bojack's deciding to make that many lings, though. Just two.
Just two.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rev is going full Protoss with this probe. He is doing everything possible. He's trying to delay the hatchery. He's attacking some drones, but Bojack just parrying it.
Next, we just need the gas steal, and it'll be the trifecta.
Yeah, right. Oh man, Bojack would take one look at it, and be like, "Wait a second, isn't that terrible?" He's like, if it was me, if I was playing Zerg and someone gas stole me though, I would get so tilted. I would just throw the game. I'd be like, "All right, we're going for mass links here." Yeah, Rev getting his gateway and his assimilator down. And Bojack getting those 3 bases up, getting his own gas as well. So everything playing out pretty dang normal. Pretty sick micro here from Rev, managing to keep that probe alive despite how much damage he originally took on it with the probe harass.
Yeah, it's got full shields right now, despite having 5 hit points left on the main hull armor. They're getting full information, getting the gas timing and everything. Now my question is, are we gonna? Yep, there's the layer. Okay, that answers it.
And the layer goes down around the same time as the cybernetics core, which is really what you're looking for, folks. If you have the layer go down significantly after the cybernetics core, Corsairs are just going to do a bunch of damage. And then, of course, if you have the layer go down significantly before the cyber core, you're at risk for mutas to ruin your day as Protoss. So this one looking pretty even from the start. Nothing too much happening here. These two lings, oh my gosh, the probe went down, sending out another probe just to scout, but they're going to run immediately into some lings. Can they take down it before it gets to the base?
It's not looking likely at this point. There's only 2 lings, and Ireeve is just sending this probe straight to Bojack's base. Now, I will say he has not scouted. Well, now he's scouting the natural, but he has not yet scouted the third base. So if Bojack did decide to do something fishy, that would probably be the place to do it. But the layer is already down. It looks like the spire is just going down as well. So looking like very standard play from both players so far. Got this Stargate on the way from Ireeve. Almost finished.
Yeah, and he's actually getting +1 air on the way as well. +1 weapons yet to be started, but I'm sure we'll see it soon. Ireeve manages to sneak in this probe somehow. despite there being 6 Zerglings, Bojack pops out a couple Zerglings, couple sets of Zerglings rather, um, to try and help with this probe and also to deal with the zealots that are being spawned. Um, but somehow Ireeve sneaks that probe into the base, does manage to confirm it's a Spire, so he's going to be having no issues continuing to make Corsairs, continuing to keep this +1 air going.
The Corsair is out. Since he did get pretty good sky information, he's opting not to send the Corsair straight to the base and instead take out this Overlord immediately. And it looks like that probably will... Yeah, there's no Overlord on the way for Bojack, so it will supply block him once it's finished, or once it's killed off. Overlord does go down. Now we're just sending the Corsair straight back to his base. Meanwhile, on Bojack's side, it's just standard, looks like 5-hatch. Got double gas up for Bojack. Ireeve does put down a photon cannon in the mineral line. I wonder if he's worried about Mutalisks.
Yeah, just seeing the Spire coming. I don't think there's anything wrong with putting down one. It's a little bit overly safe to put it down in the natural, but especially this photon cannon in the main. It's just so nice not having to worry about Scourge camping out your Stargate and picking off a Corsair as it comes. He does trap a probe behind the mineral line, so he has these 3 Corsairs all grouped up here. He's going to go do some scouting. Despite having this Spire, I don't think we've seen a single set of Scourge from our boy Bojack.
There is one chasing the Corsairs right now. Looks like one... It looks like they might have been on a attack command, because one aggroes onto the Corsair and the other one just flies away. So even if it had hit, it wouldn't have done all that much. Bojack opting to send it to the Stargate, or to try to knock out any Corsairs are on the way, but there was a cannon in place in time, so it does not do anything.
Actually, sick play back home from Ireeve, managing to bait the Scourge into the cannon, so that the cannon... You lose scouting, and obviously, of course, you're not going to kill any Corsairs with that Scourge. We do see some cannons coming up. Will he go for the 730 push? It's a little tiny bit late, but yeah, the speed is about to finish along with the +1. Let's go see some Zealot pressure from our boy Ireeve. Bojack, of course, massing up Hydras, getting ready. And he's just... The +1 is late enough that I think Bojack is just going to be able to set up a contain, and Hydra scales so well against Zealots that it kind of...
Yeah, I gotta say,
kind of doesn't matter that the power spike with +1 and speed.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned for Ireeve. The Templar Archives just finished a little while ago, so there's no Storm, there are no Templars, and quite a few Hydras.
He does have 3 cannons with a 4th on the way and a 5th one sitting back by his mineral line. He is spamming more cannons as well. But yeah, this is a scary moment for both players. Bojack going for the bust, it looks like. He's well behind on workers, so he's going to want to commit to this. Corsair's coming in to try and clean up the Overlords. If he does clean up those Overlords, then he could sneak out a DT. But I don't think this is going to work from Bojack. Wow. I could have sworn it was going to work, but just enough cannons from Ireeve. Well played. And Bojack is going to have to transition here. There's just too many cannons. There's 8 cannons with a... There's 7 cannons with an 8 on the way, rather. And although it does delay Ireeve's gateways, giving Bojack a tiny opportunity to drone, he is supply blocked, can't really take advantage of that. And since he doesn't have any of his Hydras at home, these Corsairs are just going to wreak any havoc on Overlords that pop up until they get back there.
Looks like they're probably going to catch this one right here. And Overlord goes down very quickly. I will say, though, Ireeve has almost no army at the moment. Looks like 4 Zealots? 5 Zealots? 6? So a few more on the way. But I don't see any Templar yet, either.
He is starting to power up here. He's got 6 gateways going down. He's starting to get that tech. He's got the Templar Archives with Psystorm. about to finish. But yeah, no Templars started at the moment, and he does have just such an excess of gas. He's going to go out and pressure with these Zealots, but I just think there's so many Hydras at this point that it's not going to do too much damage. Let's see how well he manages to recognize that and pull away.
Let's see if
Oh,
Bojack sees
flying
these
over Hydras.
zealots.
He is going towards the third base, and this is actually tragic for Bojack. Bojack was sending out Hydras towards the front, so he does not have anything really at his nat to come flank this. There's going to need to be some
Oh,
sick drone drills from Bojack, but there's only 4 Hydralisks there, and he's really not able to pull much off. Meanwhile, the Corsairs are doing absolute work on these Overlords, and it
that's
just seems like Ireeve, wow, I just don't know what to say. He does sacrifice some Zealots, and he loses a couple Corsairs there. So
absolutely
all of a sudden,
hemorrhage overlords though. Like Bojack has been set back pretty far.
I just don't know. Like, I thought that too. I was like, oh, this seems like a really successful attack for Ireeve.
But
And then
then,
all of a sudden, they're even on supply, and
yeah, I just
Bojack
saw
just
that.
droned heavily.
Hmm.
I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea how this matchup works. What the hell? Ireeve going for that third Nexus, so that's going to help him catch up, especially if he continues to probe once that third Nexus finishes. He's starting his before Bojack manages to take a fourth. So that's generally a good sign for the Protoss. Uh, we do have Templar with Storm at this third base, so it's unlikely Bojack is going to be able to bust.
Beautiful storm on those Hydras. Most of them are very, very low at this point, so he just sends them back home. We have lurkers on the
However,
way.
we have lurkers on the way. The robotics facility is only halfway finished. So this could be a very tough couple of minutes for Ireeve until he gets out, until they get out those observers. There's just no recourse for lurkers until you get a sizable amount of dragoons and some observers.
And Bojack is sending out his army, so 8 lurkers on the way. Wonder if he'll be able to set up a contain. A few dragoons now popping out. Looks like dragoon range is not quite done just yet. If these lurkers can get in the way, all those zealots are going to melt. Oh, but that's a
Oh,
beautiful
wow,
2
storms.
storms.
Even with those storms, though, even on supply, and Ireeve is ahead 10 workers. So really, Bojack is ahead 10 army supply here. Just going to set up an absolute monster contain right outside the base. And the question is, despite having the third base, will Ireeve actually be able to bust out of this? Lurker contain's just so difficult to deal with.
Observatory just now finishing, so it's going to be a little bit before even a single observer is out in the field. So if Bojack can start sniping these, Ireeve is going to be pretty well contained. The only issue is Ireeve does have this third up, which does make this a little less bad.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Usually there's such a timer because you're worried about mining out on your main and nat.
Hmm.
Significantly less of a factor with that third base up, but it still definitely is just so frustrating to try and break out so that you can actually get there, get to their base, get on their half of the map. Builds or has kept this Corsair alive for scouting. I love to see it. I know it's so killed. Okay. Small engagement, picks off one lurker, loses one dragoon. I'd say that's a good trade for Protoss. Uh, Trying to be a little bit too aggressive, taking a bunch of lurker spines here, and only
Ooh,
getting one storm off.
was a
Really,
very good storm though. It killed several hydras, and one more lurker does go down. I don't see any more on the way.
what is happening? Oh, Bojack has a lot of hydras just sitting out at the potential fourth base for Ireeve, making sure. 6 storm yet again
Ooh,
from Ireeve. These storms are absolutely monster. As Packrat would say, good click on the hydras. Well played, sir. So, absolutely monster storm so far today from Ireeve. Uh, Bojack is continuing to reinforce the contain. We have a little bit over a control group of Dragoons and some High Templar. And but I don't think any of these High Templar have enough for storms, so this all of a sudden gets really difficult uh, for Ireeve because he doesn't have the power of the storm and he's not making any more High Templar.
And Bojack does snipe another observer, so are there any observers out right now? I think he might
No,
have sniped
one's
them
about to
all.
pop, but he sniped all of them.
Yeah, so
Uh,
Ireeve is just stuck here for the time being. Although Bojack keeps sending in those Hydras, he did get a Templar from that, but taking quite a bit of damage on the Hydras from that. I'm not sure how worth it that is. Ooh, and a nice
Picking off
storm.
Templar.
And another observer went down, I believe. There's one left.
I don't know how worth it that was for Bojack, though. Just a small error in judgment, and all of a sudden,
All
there's
of the Hydras are
a
gone.
Dragoon Observer having free reign over these lurkers with no Hydra support. Hydra's coming back down, but all of a sudden, Ireeve has a 30 supply lead. That third base really kicking in, even despite the fact that he's still on 8 gates. Oh man, all of a sudden the Hydra support kicks in, manages to push him right back into his natural. Picks off another observer. This man's an animal.
So many observers have gone down.
This is so tilting as a Protoss player.
It is. It
This
really
is the most
is.
frustrating thing you can possibly experience as a Protoss player. And we see another observer just being right out there.
Ireeve did
Okay,
get
he's
observer
doing.
speed, so he will be able to move those observers away a little bit faster, but kind of a double-edged sword in this matchup. Because they get away faster, but they also get to the Hydras faster if you just click a little bit too far. But in this case, it doesn't really matter. There's no Hydras left, so Bojack is forced to pull everything back at this point. And Ireeve has successfully broken out of this contain. Got 2-1 upgrades on Ground Army. Bojack's on 2-2, so nothing too bad there. The problem is, well, I guess this is just one group of goons. Oh, but all of Bojack's army is based down here at the bottom of this ramp. Meanwhile, a small splinter group has come up to the 4th base for Ireeve. And they're starting to pick off drones.
Oh, this is so rough for Bojack. Yeah, he just doesn't have very much army right now, and despite the fact that Ireeve actually has pretty much no storms, he's making good use of his army, splitting them up like this. Oh, he does have 2 full energy High Templars. Just forget everything that I just said. So it's looking very dangerous for our boy Bojack here. He does
Yeah.
manage to pick off 1 High Templar, gets the storms off, but only loses 4 Hydras for 2 High Templar. I'd say that's well worth it. But however, of course, losing the main hatchery at this 4th base going to be pretty brutal. The whole attack definitely good for Ireeve. I'm a little worried for this guy's not having any storm.
Yeah, he's got a
Sick.
big
Oh my
army,
god.
but... Oh,
Look just outside. Never mind.
what was
Big
that?
attack. Big attack. Big attack. I was just going to say 12 lurkers coming up from Bojack, using all of his gas pretty much to try and desperately get some defensive units up that'll be able to hold off this massive force. But it's 170 Protoss supply versus just 100 from Zerg. It's going to be very extremely tough to try and hold this position, even without Storm.
And despite the massive number of lurkers, there's also a massive number of dragoons right now. And with very few Hydras left and very few Lings left, I think this is going to be enough to clean this up. Just needs one good storm. Maybe not even that. Oh,
No, the Templars walking directly into a lurker field, losing immediately. And we do still have Dragoons versus Lurkers. Uh, so I don't know that it's going to matter that there are no Storms or Zealots left. Some small amount of Zealots just squeezing in here. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. Ireeve has a 4th base, really managing to take advantage of his map control to start taking some other bases. And Bojack's still struggling to take his own, or still struggling to control his own 4th. So huge lead for Ireeve right now. Spending his money extremely well. You can see he's staying down low. Uh, he's only got 400 minerals, floating a little bit of gas, but that's okay. If Zerg loses this main hatchery at this 4th base a second time, that's just going to be absolutely savage.
yeah, especially with already 4 bases up for Protoss. When you're on even bases, that's not looking good for the Zerg. Although Bojack does have a very large bank that he is just not spending as of yet.
Yeah, and he does have Hive coming. Once you get Hive, it's much more acceptable for you to be on even bases as the Protoss, although Protoss is still a bit ahead. Um, does he immediately go for cracklings? Yes, he does. And you can see in the main, in the nat, just a giant macro round of cracklings coming up, trying to clear this out. Targeting down the Archon. So these cracklings about to do absolute work so long as they don't get stormed, which we all know how Storm
Oh,
does against Zerglings. Um, I don't understand. The supplies plummeting for Ireeve, despite having the Storm. Just not a great engagement trying to push up the high ground. And all of a sudden, Bojack is only down 20 supply. He is on even basis, yes, but like we said, he is on Hive, so it's not as bad as if he was still on Hydra Lurk.
yeah, I think the main issue... Well, I was going to say the main issue for Bojack at this point is going to be gas, but if he's going cracklings at this point, I don't think that's going to matter all that much. And
Not at all.
Ireeve has almost no money at this point. Just a little bit more supply, so about even in that term, but his natural is mined out, his main is mined out. So Ireeve is really only on 2 bases at the moment. Versus 4-base Zerg. Well, I say that, but Bojack's natural and main are almost mined out as well. So Bojack really needs to get another base up as soon as possible, but the other option is
Send
just
a
to
small hit
spend
squad of Zerglings to
a
try and take out
million
this fifth base.
lings. Yeah. Oh,
Bojack
Bojack
just
just
GG's
GG's.
out. Seeing that that fifth base is on the way for Protoss, it is Eclipse, a map that's already hard to prevent Protoss from splitting the map anyways, so Bojack just decides to call it a game.
I'm kind of surprised about that, especially considering the bank that he still had. With Adrenalines on the way? I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like he could have made something else happen there, but regardless, GG.
GG, well played. Ireeve managing to pull it out.
All right. Well, we're going to be taking a little bit of a break from the ZVP action and going into a game, once again with Ireeve, but this time against Flizzardo in a PvP. And if I can go back to the game, let's go ahead and change that to Flizzardo. Our little bit of chat going on between the players. But anyway, in the bottom left, we have Flizzardo and the Magenta Protoss. In the top right, we've got Ireeve as the Gray Protoss. So I don't really know much about these players. I've seen them around, but that's about it. Do you know about their PvP style very much?
I know that Flizzardo is a very tactical PvP player. Uh, I had a grudge against him a year or so ago, maybe 2 years at this point. It's been a while with COVID and everything. Um, but very smart tactically. I remember I got off to a huge advantage one game with a 12 Nexus, and then he just made Zealots in his DT drop and killed my cannons, and I just was not expecting that at all. And then I ended up losing. So uh, he's definitely, he can do some tricky things and figure it out. And if Ireeve is any indication of that last game, he seems like a similar player. Just very game smart. Uh, gonna do what it takes, even if the uh, gonna do what it takes, even if it's not quite there mechanically all the way. But I mean, look at this guy though. 500 spam APM at the beginning of the game. What am I talking about? Oh, Ireeve going for 2 gateways.
Versus the
Uh,
one from Flizzardo. So looking to put on a
this
little bit of pressure this
is
game.
this is bold on Eclipse. The rush distance is so long, so it'll be interesting to see if he goes for 3 zealots and then a gas just to put on some light pressure, or if he really commits to this and goes for some more gateways after, or some more zealots after that.
Yeah, I'm curious as well. I really want to see what the tech is going to be for both of these players. Um, but obviously it's a little bit too early to tell as of yet. Ireev not sending out his Zealot quite yet, just blocking the ramp from the probe.
I think that's really smart,
Mm-hmm.
especially if this probe accidentally suicides itself. He almost lost it there, sending it up the ramp twice to get hit by the Zealot. Uh, if you kill that probe and then he doesn't realize the two gates coming, that can almost be GG. And it does look like Ireev is going for 5 Zealots at least. He's making another pylon. He doesn't have a gas at this point. Kills that probe, so Flazardo should know in theory that the two gate is coming. Will he make a battery? It looks like he is going to make a second gateway.
Hmm.
So that'll help him later on as these multiple rounds of Zealots come on the way. It's another round of Zealots is queued up as the gas goes down. So that's a little bit surprising. I would have expected a cannon expand after this many Zealots. But just going to be very, very heavy on the early aggression before trying to go into a normal game.
And I feel like, shouldn't another Dragoon be done or almost done for Flazardo right now? I think he might
No,
have missed a macro round.
the first 3 are supposed to hit right about this time. But
What about this? Okay.
honestly, these. Oh no, this
Uh-oh.
one Zealot has 8 health, and Flazardo managing to
One.
get 1 hit off on it, but it only has 1 health left. So frustrating for sure. It would have been really nice to have a battery, but unfortunately, yeah, there's no place for the pylon where you can really put it in the pylon. No stutter step micro
Uh-oh.
from this Dragoon. The
Oh, the
Dragoon's
Dragoon
going to
is
go
down.
down. Losing the first Dragoon against 2 gate is just so brutal. You can see there's 2 more Zealots headed this way. Um, there's 2 more Zealots headed this way, and they're just going to go to work on this probe line. Or are they? Unless Kappa?
There we go. Starting to get it.
Wow.
The drill. The drill is good.
Disgusting drill. Holy smokes. That was what he needed. Uh, wow. I thought it was just going to snowball and the game was going to be over. And it's still pretty rough for Flazardo. Only has 14 workers to Ireeve's 22. But he might manage to save it and at least make it a longer game. He
Almost
does have
killing one more
3.
goon.
Oh my god. Oh my god, again? These guys with their probe drills, Flazardo, actually disgusting. Uh, and let's keep in mind, Ireev just now finished the Cyber Core. Only has 2 Dragoons about to pop out. So while he is way ahead economically, he is a bit behind in the military at this point. He's not going to have Dragoon range for quite a while. So he is going to have to sit back on the top of his ramp and be defensive. He's going for a 3rd gateway with no robo. So that's really bold from him. He's just saying, if you want to go DT and beat me, that's fine. Uh,
Yeah,
I personally, I like going robo, especially when I think I've gained as much of an advantage as Ireev did just there. But you got to respect the commitment. That's what I say. It's the principle of the whole thing. And he's saying, I don't think you're going to go DTs. Fuck you. Try it.
and it looks like it almost worked too. That zealot pressure that is, because he is still down quite a few workers. But I noticed Irie was floating quite a bit of money during all this fighting. I think he thought he was going to end the game there, but it didn't quite happen. So now he's getting a robo.
Both sides getting a robo. Flazardo starting his and Ireev starting his. Yeah, already Ireev back on top in both army supply and worker supply. And he has that 3rd gate compared to Flazardo only having 2. So definitely a bit of an advantage. Well, I say a bit. Definitely a pretty sizable advantage coming out of the early game for Ireev. But the game's starting to normalize just a little bit. We'll see what Flazardo can try and do to catch back up.
If Lazardo's just going obs, I'm wondering what the tech is going to be from Ireev. Are they going to get Reavers or expand or what?
It looks like Ireeve going for a small contain, which is going to work wonders with the Observer first from Lizardo. It's going to take quite a while for him to get a Reaver out and bust through this. Ireeve, though, uh, continuing to produce Dragoons for the time being, not going to really have enough money. Uh, not going to really have enough money. Oh, he's trying to bust the ramp.
Oh,
He's
really?
got 2 Zealots going up there, but
One
yeah,
stuck.
I mean, this high ground is just brutal. Uh, wow.
Oh,
Wow,
no.
wow, wow. This is going to be so good for Flazardo, I assume. He
Hmm.
gets up the ramp, though, with 3 Dragoons. Uh, I
Oh, there's a zealot on top of the dragoons. Okay, so that went a lot better for Ireeve than I thought it would, trying to go up that
I'm
ramp like that.
saying. I did not expect him to get, like, any kills, but he managed to actually pull something off there.
I'm not sure if that was luck from the shots not missing too much or what, but I did notice there was a zealot trapped right about there at the top of the ramp, not getting any damage off. I'm wondering if the fight would have gone any different if a zealot had gotten on top of the goons. But regardless, both players went for the observatory. Ireeve has a nexus going up, and with this 3-gate production, I think should be able to hold off this attack from Blizzardo. Yep, he just turns around.
Yeah, Flazardo, although you got to admit the supplies evened out quite a bit. Like, it didn't go
Hmm.
nearly as bad as we thought it was going to go for Ireeve, but he did give back a decent amount of supply. He does have a faster Nexus, so he can kind of afford it. But that's the kind of engages that Flazardo is going to need if he's going to get back in this game. Uh, we'll see if he's sending out an observer. He should see pretty quickly here that the Nexus is. Oh no.
Oh,
The observer from Ireeve meets the observer from Flazardo in the middle of the map, and Ireeve manages to just shoot down Flazardo's observer before it gets any info at all.
so they got
That's
another
tragic.
observer this time. But if DTs were on the way, that would leave him defenseless. But luckily for Blizzardo, they're not. Looks like we got a Reaver in production for Ireeve. And Ireeve now sees all the tech, all the gates, everything from Blizzardo. Knows that there is not yet a second Nexus, but 4 gates. Ireeve's economy is starting to kick in. He's adding 2 more gates, getting +1 weapons. I think it's going to come down to a push. Blizzardo needs to make something happen pretty soon. Because
Yeah,
they.
Flazardo knows too.
Mhm.
Like, at this point, there's no point in taking the Nexus. You'd just be so far behind anyways that you might as well put that 400 minerals into 3 more Dragoons. He
Mhm.
is going the long way around. I do like this quite a bit. Uh, you can see on Eclipse, it's just so difficult with the multiple ramps to actually try and get an attack off the short way. So he is going to go the long way around with his sizable Dragoon force. And with so many Dragoons sitting on top of this high ground for Ireeve, he is a little bit out of position. He is going to have what looks like 2 Reavers by the time the Dragoons are sitting here, but he hasn't started making Scarabs. Oh no, if both these Reavers get picked off before they actually make Scarabs, this could
Oh
be
no.
something really good for Flazardo. What is he?
Oh. Oh,
No!
he's flanking?
Oh no.
I mean, this
I
works,
think
but.
it just could have been so much better, I think, if he had attacked the main. But of course,
Mhm.
with the observer being picked off, there's no way for him to really know that there's nothing at the main or at the natural rather.
Yeah, now there are Scarabs. There's 2 Reavers coming up. Now, with this only Goon army for Blizzardo, if these Reaver Scarabs hit, they gotta be some pretty good Scarabs, though, because Iree's army is just dwindling at this point.
Yeah, you can see supplies are pretty close, but Flozardo's 20 supply down in workers. Oh
Oh!
no!
Oh, the
Oh
shuttle.
no! The shuttle!
Oh, the shuttle almost or did go down, but not before dropping off both the Reavers. Does Ireef hold this?
I think Ireeve just holds this great probe pull, managing to save the Reaver. The cannon's also doing work, of course. And the Reaver's gonna manage to save itself. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Great hold from iReef. Flizardo does have a second base now, but you can just see it's 48 probes to 28, and iReef is fully producing off the Robo as well as 5 gateways with a 6 on the way. So I'm going to say this is going to be good for iReef.
Yeah, and with this Reaver and the
Flizardo,
cannon, I think he's going to hold this easily. Yeah, Flizardo pulls back.
the valiant effort from Flizardo with the counter, or with the kind of all-in-ish attack, but just not quite enough. Those Reavers got some nice scarabs, managed to save them just in time, and all of a sudden, huge advantage for iReef. Flizardo is getting a 5th gateway himself, not quite able to make any Reavers off of that Robo like iReef is. So iReef's still going to have the military advantage.
Arif is also getting the Templar tech. Starting to, anyway. He has a Citadel already done, and Zealot Legs is about 2/3 of the way done. No Templar Archives as of yet, though. At least not that I'm seeing. Because,
Honestly, with Flizardo not having any Reavers, I'm not sure that you are super pressed to get Templar right away just because you don't have anything. Like, the Zealots aren't going to get hard countered by the Reavers like they normally would. So it might be worth it just to make the Zealots for a little bit before you get the Templar. Obviously, Templar are so good it doesn't really matter. But iReef coming in for a big attack here. And there's about a control group and a half from Flizardo. Uh, looks like there's similar numbers for iReef, but he does have those 2 Reavers in a shuttle again. And that could make all the difference in this fight. Oh my gosh, 6
oh, the
Scarabs
Scarabs.
immediately melting 4 Dragoons. These Zealots getting on top of the Dragoons as well, forcing them into areas that they're not comfortable being in. And now they're all clumped up in the corner. Just prime opportunity for more 6 Scarabs. He's also, if he's really, really quick with it, he can get some Scarabs off on this probe line and strain even further Flizardo's already strained economy. He is going to do that. Yeah, just completely annihilating this probe line with the Reavers. He is getting up
Mm-hmm.
there on the high ground as well.
And
Flizardo
Flyer
GG's
GG's.
out.
Yep.
Well played from iReef. Sick holds. I would have lost to that. I'm just going to say straight up, I would have lost to that counterattack. I don't know how he managed to save those Reavers, but that was sick.
That was really close to. He did get the shuttle. It was just a little bit too late. Man, that was very, very good game. Flizardo or Ireeve's APM in the 300s. Just a little side note off of that. Keeping that multitasking up. Well,
Yeah, that
next
was impressive.
next up we got a another ZVZ, the matchup that we both know so well. Uh, from one of the players that we haven't seen in this group yet, Nagnar, versus Bojack. Lightswarm says, "Oh boy, ZVZ with Nagnar." I don't know what that means exactly, but oops, every time. There we go. So this time we've got Nagnar, and we have Bojack. All right, I think I've got everything sorted away. All right, so in the top right, we have the orange Zerg Nagnar, and the bottom left, we've got the pink Zerg Bojack.
And what can you say about ZVZ, my friend? At least it's quick. So we got that going for us, which is nice. I'm not 100% sure what Light Swarm was referring to either, though.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure, if my memory serves, which it usually doesn't, to be fair, uh, I'm pretty sure that earlier on this preseason, Nagnar had a ZVZ that went for like an hour.
Oh, really?
That might have been another player,
Mm-hmm.
but that just means he does have no problem getting into some off-brand stuff. So we'll see if that's the case. Both sides looking like they're making an overlord, so neither side going for a 9 pool speed.
And both
Uh,
sides saving up some minerals. Okay, Nagnar put down the pool. Bojack is not yet. So is this going to be a 12 hatch maybe?
looks like it's going to be a 12 hatch from Bojack. The
Hmm.
absolute cojones.
Oh, no. 12 pool. Okay.
Oh, 12 pool. Okay, okay, okay. 12 pool versus overpool with a gas feels like it should favor Bojack just because his economy is a little bit better, but he's still going to be able to hold
Yeah.
the Zerglings. Again, this is just coming from a guy that has zero idea what he's talking about, but from all I know about ZVZ, it's pretty much you want to try and get just a little bit later spawning pool than your opponent. You want to get just a little bit so that you have that extra drone or you have that extra hatchery, um, but you still hold the links. Links are coming from Nagnar. Uh, is he going to be going for lair first? He does go for
Yes. Okay.
lair rather than speed.
Hmm.
So the Zerglings are not going to be nearly as big a threat for Bojack.
Well, you say
Um,
that, but there's a hatch going down in the natural for Bojack.
that is true. Nagnar not sending his Zerglings across the map though.
Oh. Hmm.
So yeah, it looks like this hatchery is gonna go unpunished, and the lair timing is extraordinarily similar. So this is just looking altogether very, very good for Bojack. Uh, a second hatchery going down in base for Nagnar to try and get those Mutalisks as fast as possible. But
Significantly slower than Bojack's, though.
he's
Um,
gonna see this hatchery and just be like, "Yeah, I'm in trouble." I think. I think that's what he would think. we're figuring it out. We're figuring it out together, folks.
the Zerg player
Nagnar
knows
did
ZVZ
drone
as well
up.
as us. Sorry.
I mean, despite the advantageous economic opening, Nagnar has more drones. So, like, I'm sure because of the second hatchery, Bojack is going to be able to drone up a little bit if he chooses to. Um, but right now, yeah, it's 12 drones for Nagnar versus 10 to Bojack, which is a little bit surprising to me
Bojack has a
as
massive
somebody who
number
has
of links
no
coming
idea.
across the map, though. 10 compared to 6, it looks like. Although Nagnar does have the
Let's see how
concave.
much. Yeah, let's see how much work this ramp can do. Oh, he does
Oh,
manage to bust a hole in that.
he
Oh,
does. And Bojack has gotten into the main.
there's speed for Bojack Zergling, and there's not speed for Nagnar's, which is just so huge. He does manage to kill a drone.
One drone
Can he
down.
get two? He gets two. Oh, but sick, sick drone drills from Nagnar to kill off the rest of the Zerglings. I mean, there was 5 Zerglings in there with no defenses for Nagnar for a second, so I thought he might have just straight up died. Uh, Still feels like a very great position. I mean, the Spire timing is practically identical. I mean, it's a couple seconds faster for Nagnar. You did force a sunken colony from Nagnar.
Looks
And like I predicted, Bojack droning up pretty heavily. He just made 5 drones, folks. So he is throwing down those creep colonies just to be safe. He's going to make those spores just to make sure some Mutalisks don't catch him off guard. But he's just in such a good position
Bojack has a
now with
lot
that
less
second
gas,
gas.
though. Looks like he has only 2 drones mining this gas. So he has 3 Scourge in production, or 3 sets of Scourge in production. Just under
Which
100 gas left. Nagnar, with it looks, I think I saw 3 Mutalisks in production. Still with 300 gas in the bank. Oh, and I miss a Zerg attack, or Zergling attack in the Bojack's main. Looks like he did clean it up.
yeah,
I
he
don't
cleaned
think he
it up
lost
just
any
fine.
drones.
He killed one drone.
One
I
drone.
saw that while it was coming. He killed one drone. But again, he's got the second hatchery. He's got the natural. I think it's going to be all right. Oh my gosh, Nagnar's Mutalisks are spread out, and these Scourge are just actually pushing them around right now. There's only one Mutalisk goes down to Scourge. Looks like there could be a second. Scourge going to, and Nagnar's just going for links now. He's just going all in on these links, and it has a chance I mean, there's 0 Zerglings here for Bojack, and he
Yeah.
has.
2 drones down
Oh
already.
my gosh!
Oh no.
Holy smokes! The tech switch from Nagnar saying, "Forget about Mutalisks. I'm just gonna go for it, YOLO," and it looks like it's gonna do it. Bojack just not quite able to keep up with what Nagnar was doing. A bunch of Zerglings out of nowhere.
And
GG from Bojack. Wow.
the tech switch just caught him completely off guard. Wow. Yep. ZBZ's wild.
Nuts. ZVZ doesn't make any sense, man. I thought Bojack was so far ahead for that entire game, and then all of a sudden just lings.
I did too, and then he just ling flooded and Bojack just
Womp.
died. Yeah.
Jeez.
Man. Alright, well, I hope you like Nagnar because we've got a few more games with him coming up.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I like it. If he manages to pull that ZVZ out, I like him. I like him. We'll see what happens. I'm joining the game this time. We won't make Ashen wait 5 minutes for me to join the game. Let's get it.
Alright, so this one, let's switch it over to the game, is going to be a PvZ with Flizzardo in the top right is Magenta Protoss, and Nagnar in the bottom left as the orange Zerg. Let me change the player names. There we go. Perfect. So now we're back into something that we know a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. We got some knowledge about this one at least. Lizardo versus Nagnar. Both these guys. I mean, I can't say I'm a fan of Lizardo, but I respect the hustle. I respect the game that he's got going here. Uh, I'm excited to see, will he be the kind of guy that goes gate expand? To me, he seems like he would be, right? I don't know.
I would think so,
Maybe.
but I don't know for sure. Yeah, he's keeping that probe there, so it's likely going to be a gate expand. I
Let's
hope
see
it
what
is.
Nagnar does. Yeah, gate expand is just so much more dynamic. Like, I'd go forge expand because I'm bad and I don't want to mix it up early game. But, like, gate expand is a ton of fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. I've
It
started
looks
going
like
gate
Nagnar's going
recently.
to go overpool. Oh, how's that going for you?
Better than I expected. Not great, but better than I thought it would. I need to practice it a whole lot more, though. I haven't been hitting very many Zerg on ladder. Mostly just been
Yeah.
Protoss. Lots of Protoss.
This group has made me want to play Bojack more often, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd love to. Bojack is great.
He's so good. He's so good. Lizardo's kind of funny, man. The second pylon going directly in the middle of his gas, I'm pretty sure that messes up your mining a little bit. He does go gate expand, by the way. So that's exciting. We'll get to see a little bit of him mix it up. He's putting the pylon down.
Mm.
Gonna force Nagnar. This has kind of been the theme today. We're seeing a lot of disruption of this natural hatchery. And Nagnar, instead deciding to just put his
Ooh.
hatchery at the nat, but off center. I
Weird.
actually like that, to be honest. I
Really?
don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Mm.
I'm not a Zerg player.
Mm.
Please don't say chat, don't roast me, is what I'm trying to say. But it seems like when you put it at the third, it just makes it so much harder to deal with gate expands. Whereas if you put it at the natural, at least you still have one choke, right? And then if you just follow up by going like 5 hatch no gas, it's pretty irrelevant that the fact that you had your hatchery off center for a little bit there.
This is definitely going to make this game more interesting, because Nagnar's going to be down a base, at least for a while. If Lizardo's already going for the Nexus, Nagnar not building very many Lings. 2 more sets on the way, but there's only 1 set out at the moment. So if Lizardo can get away with this... And I believe this is a 2-hole wall, if I remember correctly. There's one right between the pylon and the forge, and then there's one below the pylon. So,
Yeah. Okay. Pretty sick probe pick off from Nagnar. Will he be able to defend this zealot before it gets any probe kills, though? Because we all know how deadly a Zealot can be in the mineral line. He's just not even making an effort. He's just getting behind the mineral line. Unfortunately, not going to be any great spot for Flizardo to hide that Zealot behind this mineral line. So he does get only one Zergling for that Zealot. Well played from Nagnar, man. And like I said, he's getting that third hatchery while it is a little, or he's getting that third base rather with his fourth hatchery. And while it is a
Oh,
little bit late,
it's a
I don't think it's a
cyber
huge.
core in the wall as opposed to a forge. I did not see that.
Wow, what a legend. Okay, Flizardo,
All right.
my man. Good
All
for
right.
you. Good for you. These links are going to be a little bit scary,
Hmm.
but only for a quick moment. The photon cannon is coming up, so literally, I don't think there's any micro required here. You just hold position your zealot in the wall, make sure links can't get through, and you shouldn't be able to kill any of these buildings by the time the photon cannon finishes.
Yeah, especially not now that the cannon's almost finished. Yeah, this is that was very interesting from Blizzardo. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it just makes three hatch Hydra so much less effective because you pretty much guarantee yourself the ability to get that +1. A lair coming up from Nagnar after four hatcheries. I'm a little bit unsure as to whether this is the right play. However, it doesn't look like he's going to be punished for the relatively late lair. Flizardo is going for a second gateway before any kind of tech other than a cybernetic score. So he's going for a fast +1. He's got +1 spinning.
Hmm.
He's got his Citadel going, so it looks like he's going to go for some kind of Zealot attack.
Yeah, no
Uh,
Stargate as of yet, and no second gas yet either. Is he just gonna go straight into like a bunch of speed zealots? It's looking like,
that's what I'm assuming. That's what I'm assuming. He's just continuously producing those Zealots. He's already got 5 at the 6 minute mark. He's having 2 more producing. Um, and really, with how fast the Citadel is, the speed should be done at like 6:45. If he starts the upgrade right as it finishes.
now the big question is
And
gonna be whether or not he can do enough damage to Nagnar before he gets Mutalisks out because the Spire is on the way. Zealot legs. Do you know how fast that research is?
it's pretty quick. It's like 45 seconds or something like that.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Uh.
Flizardo said, I don't care about this pylon, forgetting perhaps that there's a lurker at, but not a huge deal. I mean, it's one pylon. Who really cares? Making 2 more gateways, so he is going to go full out on this zealot attack. Um, Aspire's coming up, like you said, for Nagnar. It's about halfway done at this point. However, a bunch of +1 zealots. Well, +1's about halfway done. Speed is about halfway done. So we'll see. If Nagnar manages to hold this attack, I think it's going to be really good for him.
Mhm.
But I don't think you want to meet him in the middle of the map right like this. Have it. There's no storm. Just hide your zealots or
Yeah.
hide your hydras behind the SimCity.
Well, without the speed, the Zealots aren't trading quite as well as they otherwise would. So I think this is better for Nagnar.
And he's droned so effectively too. If he manages to hold this attack, he's actually even on workers, which is great for him.
Hmm.
And he's ahead on tech, uh, which is also just incredible. So it does look, yeah, the zealots go down. All of a sudden, Nagnar almost even on supply with Flizardo. And does he have mutas coming? Is he? No, he's just continuing to make Hydralisks. I respect that. I
Hmm.
respect that. Perhaps thinking, I've held the attack pretty handily. I don't necessarily need to jump right into Mutalisk production.
Uh-oh.
But just so many zealots here with speed, with +1. I think you need to pull back to your base here.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot Nagnar can do with that small group of Hydras. The Zealots will shred them to pieces. Although the reinforcements are on the way. I think that's going to force Flizardo to head back to his base.
I don't know. There's about even numbers of zealots and hydralisks, which usually doesn't bode well for the hydralisks. Although,
Hmm.
as you get into higher numbers, it is better and better. Uh, yeah, these zealots kind of doing some work right now. Absolute champions. Wow, we're seeing
There's just so many of them. And still no mutas for Nagnar. I feel like if they had Mutalisks on the way, things would be going quite differently right now.
Yeah, I just think even if they didn't want to go Mutalisks, I think that trying to meet 4-gate Speed Zealot right outside the Nat of Protoss is not
Mm-hmm.
a winning play. Um, it's just so difficult to defend. And he just continues to rally. Flazardo getting insane amounts of value. It was even almost in supply about 2 minutes ago, and all of a sudden Flazardo is up 30 supply.
And there is
Flazardo on 6 gates now. Still no Stargate. No, he's on 8 gates, excuse me, because I forgot he had 4 gates in his natural.
8 gates.
So he's full on committing. We do see some Mutalisks. Okay,
Yep.
so the question is it too little too late for Nagnar? He can go harass the probe line. There's no Templar to pick off even. Flazardo is going only for Gateway Man. Uh, yeah, it's literally not even a Templar Archives. He's just saying, I'm going to end this game. He's getting Zealot Dragoon. One Zealot blocking the entire ramp. That's very unfortunate for Flazardo. The Zealots kind of running around with their heads cut off, trying to figure out how to get up that ramp. But there's just so many Zealots. I think this third base is going to go down for Nagnar.
Yeah.
And without a third base, what can Zerg really do? Even if they are this far ahead in tech, you know?
Well, Flazardo has to actually target the hatch in order to do that, and I think they might have just started to do that
Wow.
a little bit too late because there's only two zealots. Or sorry, I missed a few of them, but there's 2 zealots left now.
Oh, Flazardo starts attacking the Nat while
Oh,
Nagnar is still trying to clean up the third base, and there are 0 Hydralisks here. Okay, there's 4 Hydralisks here. Excuse me, I'm incorrect. But there's very few. He
oh,
picks off
target
the
the Spire.
Spire.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Spire does go
Does
down,
manage to finish it.
but there are 3 more Mutalisks that just popped. That's a total of 11 of them right now. And Flazardo only has Dragoons to deal with this at the moment. They do have a Templar Archives. Storm looks like it's not on the way yet, nor do I see any Templar, so no Archon. Yeah, it's just going to be some Photon Cannons that are a little bit too late, I think. So, I feel like if Nagnar just goes after the probe line, there's not a whole lot Flazardo can do at this point. But Flazardo is opting, or sorry, Nagnar is opting to just attack the Dragoons. I'm not sure how much I agree with that, but it seems to be working anyway because of the Hydralisk reinforcement. A couple cannons do get up in the natural. Is he going to hold this?
This is if he holds this. This is the greatest StarCraft that's ever been played. Wow, 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 wow.
The Mutalisks went from like 8 to just 2 now. And if they get a shot off in this last one, it would go down 2. Didn't quite do it. Wow. How did he hold that?
That's nuts. Wow. Both sides very low eco as well. Flazardo on 34 probes on 2 base. Nagnar on 32. Nagnar is in an okay spot. He doesn't quite have 1 per patch at his third, but it seems like he has 1 per patch at his main and nat.
Oh, there is 1 DT in this group as well, so even if... Yeah, the Hydralisks are just going to have to fall back because of it, in addition to all the other Dragoons and Zealots.
And this DT putting so much damage down does end up getting picked off just barely. No, it doesn't even get picked off. What a hero.
Oh,
What a hero. Wow.
3 kill DT.
Wow, 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 wow.
Almost no health left. Just a couple of stray Hydralisks that get picked off. Well, now I'm wondering where both these players go from here. They're on a relatively similar worker count. Both of them are just with their starting few bases. I think the natural for Nagnar and the main are just a little oversaturated compared to the third, so maybe mining efficiency could be improved a little bit there. I don't know how much money that would give them extra, but So, Lizardo going up to 40 probes, they are going to mine out their bases relatively soon. Not as fast as I would expect, considering they only had 38 probes for the longest time, but still. And they're
Just a
lurkers.
gigantic army, though. I think Nagnar might have overdroned a little bit. Nagnar does
Mhm.
have 47 drones, or 46 drones, rather, but still almost 30 supply behind, so very little army. Couple lurkers on the way, and if these lurkers finish, I don't know that Flazardo has any observers to deal with it.
They do have a robo, but no observatory. So Nagnar lives because of that.
And for the first time all game, as far as I'm aware, we see High Templars from Flazardo. The absolute dedication to not using High Templar for the first 14 minutes of the game was frankly awe-inspiring. I the the absolute protossery from Flazardo was incredible. He is pulling back. He's getting his tech all up. The observatory just finishes. Uh, he's going to need these observers if he wants to go for a bust here. But Nagnar just has a lot of lurkers and a pretty decent amount of hydras to support it. He is taking a fourth base. Flazardo, although, is taking a third base as well. Nagnar droned so dang heavily. 60 drones for Zerg never feels good
Oh.
as the Protoss player. I feel
Mm-hmm.
Flazardo is going to need to pull off some drops. He's going to need to kill some drones in some way, shape, or form. Uh, even though his Nexus is relatively on time in comparison to the Zerg fourth.
Gotta keep in mind as well, though, the mineral lines in both the natural and the main for Flazardo are starting to get pretty low. A few patches with only a handful of minerals left. There goes one of them. Whereas Zerg
Yeah.
still has relatively healthy bases.
And this is really, in my opinion, one of the hardest points in the game, at least for me, in this matchup, is Zerg doesn't mine out of their first three bases until around 23 minutes in general.
Mm-hmm.
And you mine out of your first two bases around 14, 15 minutes. So that 8 minute period or so there, where you're on one mining base and they're on four mining base, I know you have Storm and I know they're on Hydra Lurker and they're trying to transition into Hive and everything. But especially when Nagnar has 20 more drones than you have probes, just seems like it's going to be very difficult to deal with. Flozardo just going to have to trade extremely effectively here.
Luckily, Flazardo does have a very large army at this point. Although the supplies are relatively even, even considering the worker difference, that's still only about a 30 supply lead in army for Protoss. And I think that's relatively even still, considering it's Zerg.
Yeah, Zerg very supply efficient, of course, against Protoss for most of the game. Of course, once you get to Reavers and Archons, big attack coming in
Mhm.
with observers and Dragoons and Zealots. There's not that many lurkers down here. There's only three or four. Oh, six storms on the eggs.
Oh, oh.
So no extra lurkers going to be helped. He is doing his absolute darndest to unburrow the lurkers that are at the fourth, but I think it might be just a little bit too much here for Nagnar.
Ooh, but the
Uh,
both the observers were picked off. There are now no more observers for this
oh
army.
no,
I think they flew right
trick
into that
plays.
storm, and then they were picked off by the Hydras right afterward. Wow.
Yeah, and you can see just kind of the last gasp from Flazardo there. It seemed like a very scary push, but the observers get picked off. The zealots kind of ran into lurkers there a little bit, and all of a sudden, Flazardo is 30 supply down against a Zerg who's on 60 drones. Never feels good. Going to be extremely hard to take the fourth base that he so desperately needs if he's able to. Six Storm on
Mm-hmm.
three Lurkers, very well played from Flazardo. A DT is in there as well, which is the kind of thing that you really would need to get some value out of this army. Um, Nagnar is forced to pull back, but still 20 supply ahead. It's going to be a long road if Lazardo wants to get back in this game, and I think he would really need to start by taking a fourth base yesterday. Uh, Nagnar doesn't look like he's going to take any more bases. I respect that. He's on Hive. He's ahead of base. You don't need to win with 9 bases to 3. You just need to win by a little bit. And I think if you're 1 base ahead on Hive, that's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. Especially, Flizardo doesn't seem to have Reavers or a particularly large amount of Archons. So, no particular need to get way, way ahead economically here.
Now,
Flizardo does look like he's starting to take the 4th. I'm sorry, I'm talking way too much.
Oh, you're good. I was just about to say he was listening to you because he is posturing for that 4th base. Although just spent a bunch of money on not a Nexus, so I guess that won't be coming quite yet. And he's starting to move forward as well through this lurker field. The observer's lagging behind just a little bit, so no vision on him quite yet. But that is a lot of Hydras. And how many Templar are there? 3. This one doesn't have a storm quite yet. This one has 1 storm. This one has none. But does it matter versus all these goons? It's mostly lurkers and just a few Hydras left.
He doesn't have any observers anymore, it seems, though, and these lurkers just doing absolute work on these Dragoons. Pretty sick observer pickoffs from Nagnar, I gotta say. Super frustrating to play against as a Protoss player, but you gotta respect it as an observer of this game. Absolutely saving the day. There's been a couple different points I thought Flizardo could just kill him, and then all of a sudden Flizardo doesn't have any observers and it's just over.
Yeah, his army just melts immediately afterward. And he doesn't have that 4th up yet. So Nagnar is taking another base in the bottom middle right, kind of. I don't know how you describe the location of that, but another base is going up. Flizardo's still on the 1 mining base now that the main and that are completely mined out. Oh, and there's a Hydra that might kill this probe off, which delays it even further. That doesn't quite kill it.
We can see just not that many probes at this 3rd base even for Flizardo, so it's going to be a struggle. He's only got 9 probes mining minerals. A lot of his probes, yeah, he's just now transferring from his main and nat to that 3rd base. But it was an uphill battle to even get enough money to put down that 4th Nexus. And by the time he has it, Nagnar is going to have that 5th base up and running with no problems. So, Nagnar, healthy lead in this game. He's got crackling, super tough to deal with. Especially when you are as Dragoon heavy as Flizardo is right now. He's going to go ahead and try and attack uphill. Never mind. Okay, smartly pulls back.
Nagnar, though, 50 supply lead. Only 20 of that workers, so even an army supply lead in terms of Zerg, which is definitely not good for Flizardo. Especially if he tries to push up this. Looks like he's just going to storm a few lurkers.
Wow, 6 storms.
Okay,
so he's getting a bit of value. He picked off like 3 lurkers, picked off some Zerglings, killed some Hydralisks. It is pretty brutal that he's losing those Templar, though.
Yep.
Especially as we get later and later into those games, you want to save those Templar even without Storm and morph them into Archons.
And I did notice a Defiler Mound went down. I saw it in the production tab for Nagnar, and it looks like Consume is on the way. And once Defilers are out, this is a mostly Goon army for Flizardo. And that does not bode well for our Protoss player.
And Flizardo, with one last gasp, it seems, he still does not have a 4th base, so this attack really needs to do some damage. He tries to sneak a DT in there, fair play, but does not quite, or does have an Overlord over there, Nagnar does, to kill that DT off. And all of a sudden, there's only 5 Dragoons left, a couple Templars. He's just not going to quite be able to do it. Flizardo, listen to me again, though. Look at this. He made an Archon to try and deal with some of those cracklings. But just not going to have enough to break this position, it seems. And all of a sudden, it is Zerg 6 base to Protoss 3. And that's a pretty desperate position, regardless of how you cut it.
Yeah, now with Dark Swarm being thrown down occasionally, you Zealots and Archons are not going to be able to fight against this massive group of Hydras. It's not very effectively. And even if they win this fight, which it looks like they're just barely going to fail at, there's really no follow-up for Flizzardo. They are taking a... Oh, nope, never mind. GG.
GG, well played.
All right. Replay's still going. There we go. Well, just a long, grindy game. But unfortunately, our Protoss hero going down to the swarm.
The Zerg scum. Eat freaking A move race. Just make Hydras and Zerglings and attack. Kappa. We all know Protoss is the real A move race, but Flizzardo, unfortunately, not quite able to A move effectively enough to take down Nagnar. Well played from both sides. I think both sides definitely had chances to end it. As we go into, is this our final game?
This is our final game. Yes, indeed. Let's go ahead and pop that tab open. Oops, I did it again. There we go. So this is Nagnar versus Ireve.
Two dangerous players in this group. Nagnar managing to, I think, win both of his games so far that we've seen, and Ireve as well. So, is this the championship of Group 28? Is it? Wait, no, 35.
35. I think it might be. Although we are missing 5 replays. / they weren't played. I'm not sure which, but
right. It sounded like Caffeine Free actually dropped out, so
oh,
just
really?
missing one replay. So whatever, I'm gonna call it the championship, even if I'm technically wrong, because I'm a Protoss and we stick to our guns. Ireve going for that forward pylon, not gonna do anything. Not gonna do anything one base play. Bit laggy, Ireve says. Bro, you're the Protoss in this scenario. That's good for you. Don't hit me with that frowny face there, sir.
You Australia.
Oh, Nagnar's Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that Nagnar is actually pretty used to playing in laggy games because, yeah, like Australia to most places is quite a bit laggier than you would want. Ireve definitely still going for that Forge expand.
Mm-hmm.
Good on you, buddy.
Yeah, real quick, Flizzardo in the chat saying didn't have me versus Bojack. I did not see the replay in the folder, so either it didn't get uploaded or I missed it. One of the two. I can double check again, I suppose, but I did not see it. So probe going in the scout. Not going to be blocking this hatch, it looks like. So it will go down a little bit early, as a matter of fact, about 2:02.
And the spawning pool just about to finish. Maybe touch late on the spawning pool, but doesn't matter too much. It is going to be a Forge fast expand. It's not like Nagnar has to worry about any zealot pressure coming up. Ireve actually going for the Nexus this time before the cannon. I think like we were talking about last game with Ireve, he just went with that cannon first last time because he was a little bit worried with the probe harass that his Zerg opponent was just going to go for a lot of lings. This time, no worries about that. Perfectly safe going for a Nexus before cannon.
Yeah, and there's the gateway going down on 15. Looking very, very standard from Ireve so far. A drone on the way for the third.
Both sides. Nagnar looking... Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And then right after that third, he should be taking a gas. It's a 305 gas, so it's very likely we're going to see a Hydralisk play. I would find it very surprising if he was going to go into Lair after this. Because if he was, he would definitely lose at least 2 or 3 Overlords to Corsairs. Just as before, really, really nice probe micro from Ireve. Absolutely no problems. I recognize it's only one Zergling chasing it around, but just you see the different level that we're on in comparison to our last group.
Mm-hmm.
This, as I say that, it starts getting hit by the Zergling, but barely anything. Ireve only has 2 on gas at his main gas, which is absolutely brutal for Protoss players at this stage in the game. We'll see if he notices that
Yep.
quick here.
That might even change what he does, because he's not going to have enough gas for a Stargate quite on time. Unless he notices, anyway. Drone's still seeing absolutely everything in Nagnar's base. Got a 4th hatch going down for Nagnar. No hydrogen yet, although I'm not sure he has enough gas for it. I'm not sure how much that costs. I want to say it's 75 gas. Maybe I'm wrong, though.
Oh, that sounds pretty right. That sounds pretty right. The Stargate does go down. Ireeve's still, unfortunately, not noticing that he's only got 2 on gas in his main. So he is going to be quite gas starved this game. That could make all the difference. 6 scouting from Ireeve, so he is going to notice, hey, the lair is pretty dang late. I don't really have to worry about mutas as much as I would. But yeah, I'm expecting to see Nagnar. I seem to recall last game, yeah, the Hydralisk Den actually going down at the 3rd. So he's going to have Hydralisks in time to defend his overlords from the Corsairs.
Getting Hydra speed as well right now. No Corsair on the way yet because there's not enough gas. Although +1 air weapons is on the way.
3 Zealots pushing across the map, just forcing out some more Zerglings, but Nagnar does react just in time, makes enough Zerglings to fight those off. The Corsair does start. It's pretty funny. Ireeve focuses that +1 air weapons faster than a lot of people I've seen. He does manage to realize that he only had 2 on gas in his main, by the way. He does now start mining
Good.
with 3 on gas in both the main and nat.
Awesome, okay.
Can we just take a second? Look at this mini map for Nagnar. He's got units everywhere. Now, okay, as I say that, he pulls back a little bit to consolidate at his base. But he had a pretty sick spread trying to see if he could find any Zealot pushouts there.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how I'm assuming he's gearing. Well, I was gonna say I was assuming Irie was gearing up for a 7:30 timing or so, but I'm not. This is the first Corsair I think that's being built right now. No, second. Sorry, I missed this one in the main. Oh, does a Nagnar's Spire is not yet done. They do have some Hydralisks out, so they are gonna push away this Corsair, but. Oh, and Hydra is going toward the main, as well as a bunch of Lings. Is Nagnar going to try to bust this?
It looks like it. With the 4th hatchery before the Spire, it seems like he's going to have just a little bit more economy. Ireeve is going to be able to... Wow.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, he's going for the attack on these Zealots. Don't know that this is the time that you want to yet. He's trying to just hit before these cannons start up, but there's just so many Zealots.
Attack range on the Hydras just finished seconds ago. So now they can end up hitting this forge, and that's going to deny the +1 weapons.
Oh no, that's so brutal actually
Oh,
for
no.
Ireeve. We all know how important upgrades are in PvZ.
Oh, no. There's not enough cannons here.
Oh no. Wow.
A couple of Scourge just went down. Not sure if they killed the Corsair or not, but I'm not sure it's going to matter too much. Ireeve only has 2 Zealots left. Legs just finished, it looks like, but there's only 3 cannons here. 1 just came up. But unfortunately, cannons are one of the squishiest things in the game. That's all the cannons down. And momentarily, all the Zealots, too. There's only 3 Hydra... Oh, never mind. 5 more on the way. I think this might be it for Ireeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ireeve does GG out, and shoot, man, he was pretty dang close to holding. And as you could see, Nagnar only had 30 drones left, or 30 drones. So if he didn't bust, he would have been in trouble. But just barely, Knife's Edge pulls out the game. Way to win the group, Nagnar. But also well played from Ireeve throughout the group.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun, man.
It was good. At least I have one question for you. Nagnar, or not Nagnar, Lizardo just sent me one more game that was missing from the replay folder. Do you have time for it?
Oh, let's hit it, bro.
Yeah,
I
let's
got
do it.
nothing but time. Come on.
All right. Let me put that in the correct folder. That way I know where to find it. Here we go. Perfect. All right. And I'm very excited about this actually because this happens to be another game with Bojack.
Yeah, Bojack and Flizardo. Oh, sorry, I totally need to join the game again.
Very
Uh,
good.
Bojack and Flizardo, two of my favorite people. We're ready to see how this game goes. I think so far, Bojack and Flizardo are also 0-2, so this is kind of the God let me salvage some pride game from Group 35. Of course, Group 35, I mean, dude, there's some solid players. They're tier 1, maybe tier 0. I would not want to play either Flizardo or Bojack, so
Oh yeah. In our
looks like they
practice
must.
games, I actually took a couple off Bojack, but I was doing that thing that he told me to do that he had trouble with, so I don't know if in like a best of three anything would happen in my favor. A little bit of chat going down. I missed some of this chat log. Oh, I can't look at the message history apparently. I did not know you could not see that in the replay. Well,
I think it was just saying Flizardo said at first, same group again, and Bojack, I think, said never had that happen before. So
oh, interesting.
sounds like they were in the same CPL group two weeks in a row.
Weird. Huh.
Yeah, that's kind of nutty.
All right, well, this is going to be a gate expand or a gate first, I should say. I'm looking forward to this again. I just love the um, gate first builds. They're just very,
Yeah,
very fun.
so much fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And really, when you go gate expand, it feels like the whole match is just jam packed full of action. There's never a dull moment. Because usually when you go Forge expand, there's at least like 3-4 minutes at the very beginning where Protoss really can't put any pressure on, no matter what they want to do. Whereas gate expand, that just immediately goes away. Flizardo doing it again, doing the thing. I think he got the first hit off on this drone, so Bojack not going to be able to get down this Nat hatch even if he wanted to.
Oh, unless he sneaks this
Oh,
drone by. Oh, nope, never mind. He does
Flizardo to
deny it.
God.
But because that drone took off, oh, never mind. There goes the pylon. Okay. So we have the gate first into blocking the natural hatch from Flizardo. Bojack building a few more lings than I think we saw. I think it was Nagnar build.
Yeah, I think this is right though. I think
Mm-hmm.
again, zero Zerg experience. This is nobody. I don't know anything about this matchup, but I think 8 with Overpool is what you want, and then if you go hatch first, you need like 10 or 12. Nagnar seemed like he skimped a little bit, but just got away with it because Flizardo wasn't pressuring super hard. Um,
Speaking of not pressuring hard, Blizzardo has 2 zealots right now against 8 lings, and they built a nexus. So, with no forge on the way, I'm a little worried for Blizzardo here. Oh, oh no, they took out the pro before they could build the. Oh dear. Oh, this is okay. Okay, a third zealot does come out. I'm kind of surprised Bojack didn't just send the lings straight up the ramp into the main. I feel like that could have ended the game then and there, but Blizzardo does manage to push back the lings. Building a cyber core in their main. And then it looks like a forge is probably going to come down any second now.
oh, he's going. Wow, Flizardo is so greedy with this gate expand. He's really
Yeah.
playing like Mini does. he's got the gas and the cyber core before the forge, so he's really trying to eke out every possible advantage. It looks like he's going to be able to get a Stargate pretty similar to the timing you would get a Stargate with the Forge Fast Expand, which is
Well,
kind of insane.
he hasn't mined any gas yet, and the cyber core is done, or almost done.
True. So it's gonna be a bit late. Flizzardo sending out. Never mind. He baited me. He baited me. Well played, Flizzardo. If I was Bojack, I would have seen that 1 inch move out from Flizzardo immediately make an entire macro round of lings. All of a sudden, I have 24 lings. He hadn't even moved out from his choke.
I was actually about to ask you if you would do something like that, and it turns out,
Yeah.
yes, yes, you would.
That's why I don't play Zerg, man. At least if it was like Protoss and you felt like you needed to make some units. I don't know. With the larva thing, with the canceling the larva, killing the larva, and you have to wait for it to respawn, that would just ruin my whole day. Because you're so committed. You just, it doesn't make a difference.
Oh, and we are seeing the no Stargate again from Flizzardo. And the second gate in the natural again. Are we going to see the no Templars for 10, 12 minutes?
I hope so. That was that was great, dude. I really just want him to do the same Protossery that he did last game. Um, third and fourth gate. I mean, he literally had 4 gates in his nat the last game. So I would honestly just want to see if he's able to even fit him in his nat again the same way.
Oh, we got to
He
move
is
out from
pushing out.
Blizzardo. 5 Zealots and a Dragoon. Dragoon can probably kill this Overlord. And that actually will supply block Bojack, whose Spire is not yet done.
And he doesn't have any overlords on the way. Oh no.
Just has to defend this with a good SimCity and Lings. Now, to be fair, there are quite a few Lings, and +1 is not done on the Zealots quite yet. So they're trading much less efficiently than they could otherwise. But it doesn't matter, Zealot good unit. Oh,
Zealot's
wow.
OP, literal Bonneth micro. Look at this 1 health Zealot with 4 kills. The
Oh,
Sunken probably going to be able to take care of this though, with just how weak these Zealots still are. But yeah, no, sick drone
mhm.
drill from Bojack. Well played. He Flozardo is just going to run into the main. I do like that a lot, honestly. At least you get a full scout off, even if you don't get any damage economically.
Yeah,
But
you do lose your entire army to do that, but... Oh, and he sees the Spire and immediately puts down a bunch of cannons in his mineral line in the main base. None in the natural, though.
we do see a Templar Archives at 7 minutes, which is very timely in comparison to the last game. So I'm proud of you, Felizardo. You did it, buddy. You made the good unit. Well, you made the other good unit. Obviously, you've been making zealots all day, so that's good. Hydralisk does come down for Bojack. The
Mhm.
thing that I'm a little concerned about for Bojack is it just seems like he had to make so many Zerglings and a Sunken to defend that zealot attack that he's pretty low on drones in comparison to Flizardo's probe count. And you can see, yeah, he's made a bunch more Zerglings again to try and hold off these zealots. But the zealots have +1 and speed. They're going
Uh-oh.
to two-shot these lings, and then as soon as the Sunken finishes, he can just run away. It doesn't matter. Man.
And mutas are coming out, but Blizzardo's cannons are done in the main and the nat, so it's unlikely they're going to get very much damage done. Although they might push back these zealots. I mean, they do take forever to kill them, but... Well, we'll see. They are running straight into the natural. Straight into the main. The drone drill just a little bit too late. The zealots get into the main base. And they start attacking some drones. That's 1 down, 2, 3. I think 4 drones were killed there. And that's
Yeah.
not good, especially considering Bojack was already kind of low on workers to begin with.
Yeah, he did hit a very big macro round of drones from like 4 of his hatcheries before that.
Mhm.
But really, I think the only thing he needs to do right now is just make another round of drones. It does look like, yeah, that is what he's going to do.
Bojack's.
33. There's
Oh,
a bunch about to pop out as his third base. There's a bunch about to pop out at his nat. So, yeah, 38 drones now. He's pretty much where he wants to be economically now in comparison to the Protoss. He could get even a little bit more ahead if he was confident he could do that before. Oop.
ooh.
Dark Archon.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
Wow. Flizardo committed to the no Stargate life. He didn't choose the Stargate life. The no Stargate life chose him. But he's just going to say, YOLO, we ball. I'm going to go for this 8-gate push with no Stargate. I love it a lot, to be honest. Uh, he does. The only thing I could say that's maybe a little bit of thing, which is hard because he did do so much damage early game, so it's hard to really nitpick.
Mhm.
Um, but it seems like 2 Archons is a little bit of an overkill if you're also going for the Dark Archon. Because you really do want to have those High Templar for when they switch into Hydralisks. The supplies are even,
I did
but
not notice. Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it seems like Mutalisks take up more supply than other Zerg units. Oh my god,
Ooh.
sick Archon hit on those Mutalisks. They're all pretty bruised now. But just fly away.
And a Robo going down for Fazardo. Yeah, still no Stargate. And Maelstrom is being researched. It's not done yet. I don't know how much. Do you know how much mana that takes? Is it like
Uh,
7,500?
I want to say 75, but I could be wrong.
Gotcha.
I
Yeah.
just feel like uh, I feel like Bojack could be droning so hard right now. Um, just because there's not really a great answer for that at the moment. He is droning a bit, but I think he's a little bit worried about that 8-gate push, assuming that it's going to come out on time. But Flizardo just wasted a lot. Well, not wasted. He
Ooh,
did
that
a lot of.
storm.
Yeah, that was a 6 storm. That was a 6 storm.
Mhm.
Flizardo just used a lot of units early on in the game, so I think Bojack could recognize that the 8-gate push is going to be a while longer. He does drone harder. Okay, sick. Yeah, he's on 46 drones now.
Okay, good. Yeah, and a bunch of Hydras in
Double
production
Evo.
too.
Yeah, double Evo. He's +1. He's about to be +2, +1. So he's going to be in a pretty good spot upgrade wise compared to our Protoss hero Flizardo. Actually,
Ooh,
Flizardo on double Forge as well. So this is going to be interesting. Both going for a heavy upgrade play.
I just missed it, but all the mutas just died. And I think a
Oh,
Maelstrom Storm.
dang. Sick plays from Flizardo. We're butchering this guy. I keep talking while shit is going on, and then we're like, oh yeah, we just missed that part.
Very good. Well, I
Flizardo,
barely caught it. It was at like the
yeah,
very end. I just saw all the mutas pop. I didn't see the Maelstrom. I just saw a little bit of a storm and mutas evaporate. But I at least heard their death screams. So, oh, Flazardo's army being heading across the map and being kind of split up between the two paths. Doesn't really matter though. Bojack is still completely at his natural with a massive army. I think it's going to come down to the storms here.
oh, 6 storm dodge.
Okay, okay.
6 storm dodges.
Two good storm dodges. And that's enough to push back this
Wow.
push.
I
2
gotta say
1.
though, respect for Flizardo to recognize, hey, I'm out of storms and I'm out of zealots.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to pull back. That's something I really struggle with. I do not pull back on time.
Yeah, I do not either. I just lose my entire army and then I just immediately die to it. The counterattack.
Exactly right. I'm just like,
Yep.
well, I guess it's over now. I
Yep.
guess we don't have anything left to do. So good on him. He manages to maintain his supply lead because he doesn't throw away those expensive goons, and he does have a third Nexus already. Let's not forget, Bojack does not have his fourth hatch or his fourth base just now starting.
Mhm.
So Flazardo in a really good position economically, especially if he takes advantage of this third nexus, starts throwing probes down.
Oh, and Bojack attacking with a pretty small group of Hydras and a few Lurkers. I think this is just going to get sandwiched between his... Oh, the probe transfer almost got caught by all those Lurkers. But it did not. And that just means I think all these Dragoons are going to clean up all these Lurkers. And today I learned Maelstrom can hit Lurkers that are burrowed.
Yeah, what? Since
Yeah,
when?
apparently always.
Wow. Okay, I guess. All of a sudden, things looking pretty dire for our boy Bojack. He's down 50 supply. His his fourth base is very late compared to Flazardo's third base, and we just want to see, can Flazardo pull it off? Uh, Bojack losing some overlords from these dragoons,
Hmm. That's a big
and
deal because he's
Flazardo.
almost supply blocked at this point. He's got a big bank, but he just can't spend it right now.
That's so frustrating. This fourth looks like it might be canceled, or even worse, it finishes and it looks like it's just going to be straight up killed.
Oh
So
no.
many Protoss units heading towards that, and Bojack trying his absolute best to get all his army over there, but it just looks like the Zealots are going to be able to A-click on the hatchery and kill it.
And the Hydras look like they're probably going to clean up the rest of this army, but it doesn't really matter if that hatch goes down. Oh, maybe not. The rest of Thazara's army comes up. A bunch of goons. Well, the hatch does go down. Lizardo in an amazing spot now. Bojack with half the supply of Lizardo, and he just GG's. That does that. Wow.
Can we just say, though,
Mhm.
I know this probably isn't the time if Bojack is watching this, I'm sorry. Hero of that game by far, Flazardo's Dark Archon.
Oh,
Kills all the Mutalisks. Maelstrom's a lurker somehow, which I guess is possible. And it got some pretty decent Maelstroms on the Hydralisks. Bro, Flazardo, never make a Stargate in your life, bro. If you can use a Dark Archon like that, my man.
yeah, that was... Yeah, that just worked out so well for him. Much better than the last game that happened. Although, this time he managed to get that third up, I think a little bit earlier. Um, and Bojack just didn't... I'm not sure if it wasn't in time or just couldn't keep the expansion alive, but that supply block really hurt though because he was on 75 out of 78 there for a little bit, and with like a 2K mineral bank, and he just could not spend it, and that was just painful. But props to Flazardo for taking advantage of that and just powering through there.
Just sick games. Sick games.
Oh yeah.
Flazardo, congrats on making the Templars on time this time. I'm proud of you. Manage like I said, no, seriously though, the he's proven you don't need to make Stargate at this, even at a relatively high level for CPL players. You have multiple options. I think a lot of people get pigeonholed into like, oh, I got to do it exactly like the pros. Just run your shit, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, those were some good groups. That was the actual last game that we had for the night, but or I guess midday. It's only 3:30 for me. Um, But yeah, I really liked both of those groups. Group 35 was just back to back good games, and then Group 11 was just, it was surprising how strong those players were. They were really good. I'm
Dude,
looking
I
forward to
gotta
seeing more of
say,
them. Yeah.
I was like, I loved Group 35. I love watching some good StarCraft, and I felt like I learned some stuff.
Hmm.
Group 11, by far, was the most entertaining CPL group I've ever seen in my life. These guys are freaking. I don't know. I'll stop talking, but you guys, if you're watching this still, keep on grinding, my guys. You got plenty of potential. I'm really excited to see you in the future.
Oh yeah, and I hope none of them dropped out of CPL because they have a lot of potential, all of them. So I'm
That's facts.
looking forward to seeing what they do in the season. So,
For sure. For sure. Well, thank you everybody for watching the cast. Yeah,
mhm.
Blizzardo says thanks for the good cast.
Yeah.
We're happy to do it. We love it. I'll at least be back. Ashen, I know we'll see how he feels about it later on, but I am pumped that we did this.
I
Thank
am
you for
too.
inviting me on, Ashen.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for coming. I
Yeah,
just
definitely.
kind of a spur of the moment thing, but I'm glad I
Yeah,
did. It was fun. So,
it was good. It was good.
oh yeah.
And thus ends our CPL marathon for the day. For those of you that stuck it out from CMO's cast to our cast, you're real ones.
Oh
We
yeah.
we fuck with you, honestly. You're dedicated to the foreign brood war grind. So, thanks everybody again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.